We're live. This is Julien Jean-Pierre from the Royal St.Lucian Seamoss Company, and you are watching another amazing, fabulous, spectacular, extravagant episode of Seamoss Talk. Yeah, just messing around. Having an amazing Sunday. I don't know about what it is about today, but it seemed, I don't know, it's just really good vibes today. It's a nice time at church. I had a really good service, and stopped at the warehouse. I did a lot of cleaning at the warehouse. Maybe that's why I feel good. And been doing that. Hey, what's up, Ricky? And so cleaning up, packaging up, getting ready, because I know that things are going to start scaling up. I can feel it. I can feel the business picking up, the interest. People are getting excited about Seamoss, and so, I'm excited to be a part of that journey. And yeah. Hey, what's up, Ricky? How's it going?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good. Just getting home. Was doing a lot of last minute running around. I thought I had to go do some serious shopping, but it just turned out they wanted ice cream. So it was like we went all to that trouble just to get ice cream on sale. So
yeah, I still haven't made it home yet. I'm still out and about.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's why I came to Clubhouse first. I do the Clubhouse real quick, and then I'll head over to Instagram.
I hear you. I feel you. Well, it's at least you made it, which I appreciate it. You know what I mean? It's always good to, see you here. It's I was thinking about it. It's been doing it for a while now. Like it's like started in like late November, December, or something like that. And it's now what, April? Just beginning in April. And so
yeah, this has actually been, you've been going hard on this, man.
It's not easy to do it every week, but you know what? I was smart in the sense that I did two things. I picked the 2 days where I know I'm the least busiest, which is Sunday and the time. Like that, like this is when I'm not, like, I'm barely ever doing anything. And so I knew Wednesdays and things. Because Tuesdays I do this podcast with these youth kids, and then I don't know, Thursday is usually open. Fridays it's like family. Saturdays, the same. And then Sundays I usually don't do anything in the evenings because I have church all day, and so I'm usually relaxed after that. But yeah, so it works out. And then the second thing is I don't plan anything. I think if I had to plan like what to talk about every episode, I would run out of, like, it would stress me to like come up with new ideas, that it's almost like that's why I don't do it. So I think it works out better that way. Let's say shout out to those on Instagram: Seamoss Boss, Kayuana, Grown and Glow Seamoss, Bull City. Good to see you all. Wicked. So, yeah, how's things going with the multi-spectrum? I remember you had a sale on that. Are you still having that sale, Ricky?
Hold on just a second. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, I'm still having a special. It's really us kind of explaining to people exactly what multi still is. That I think they're still at a loss of what it is right now. So it's really more of the education of the multi and what it is. And so the sale's going pretty good. I can't get mad at the sale. It's just, people are used to what they've been selling. So that kind of gets in the way of everything.
Definitely. And so that's kind of like one of the things I wanted. Like I was thinking about today. I was like, okay, well, if I am going to talk about something on the show, what should I talk about? And then I'm like, okay, one of the things people are always talking about, and one of the things I've noticed is that the full spectrum is sort of like a very overlooked Seamoss. Like everybody's kind of like into the purple, they're into the thing, but it's like with the full spectrum, you're really getting sort of like that in a sense is probably as wild as you can get it, you know?
Exactly. Like to me, full spectrum is actually my favorite, just because you get a little bit of everything. Like if you're used to gold, then but you've been taking gold for a while, your body starts to get used to it, especially because I started getting used to gold. And once I started getting used to gold, it was like, okay, so what else can I get in full spectrum? Like, I wouldn't want to take purple or green every day. That was my biggest thing. Like, I wouldn't want to take purple or green every day.
Me either.
Just for the strength wise,
No, me either. I really don't take the purple a lot. I take mostly like the gold. I don't know. To me, it works great. You know what I mean? And then once in a while, like I mean, it's been probably 2 years since I've had purple. But you know what? I've gotten some purple recently, dude. I made some videos of it. It is so deep purple. But you want to hear a crazy story? So I had a guy. So I don't know if you saw on Instagram. I ran that video, that reel on the purple, and it's like so purple, like it's purple. I had someone return that and tell me that they said that they couldn't sell it because it was too purple. It was too dark. Their customers didn't like it. And I'm like,
too strong.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I don't know, but I was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "This is what like people are fighting over this stuff." Like, but I guess different. Everybody has different tastes, and what my tastes are for me can be different for you. Like, you have different tastes than I do. Not everybody has the same. So.
Yeah, it's definitely like the purple is strong. Like really, okay. So me dealing with the Conjuras this week. Now that stuff, man, that's on another level of that stuff stinks. It's like it's different. Like it's super different as far as the smell wise, taste wise, everything is different about it. So I see exactly what people are saying about like it. Like okay, so I wouldn't necessarily make gel out of that. Out of Congress, because it's just too pungent for me to even take as a gel. Like I would have to put that in a capsule to take it. That's just my preference on it. Purple,
but it could be.
Purple is not as bad.
It could be where you're getting it from. Like maybe that stuff that you had, like I know you grind that stuff. Because honestly, the stuff that Rory guy, you know what? I totally forgot to ship that pound of Seamoss or that bit of Seamoss to that guy. I wonder if he sent me his address. Like, bro, I need to get an assistant or some kind of like virtual something to remind me of all these things that we do on these. Like, I got to take a notepad. That's what it is. And then that way I make it, So Bull City says here, it's hard to make it smooth. You definitely need boiling water for doing that Condorus into the gel. But the Condorus that I got from Roy, it doesn't smell fishy at all. You know what I mean? It was actually pretty decent. Like I could almost eat it. Yeah.
Man, boy, this purple I got was.
No, I smelled stuff like that before. Yeah. It's like it wasn't washed.
And so I end up because all my stuff I actually use as far as with gold Seamoss or like I'll make some purple capsule, but once I actually grind it out, it has no smell to it really anymore. It's like it's not this. It was already grinded out, and it was just wow. I was just floored by the smell. Like it was like I had to wash all my stuff. like super wash it, like even my machine, because I actually put some in the grinder to make it smooth, so I can kind of show the difference. And when I put it into my grinder, now I can smell it in my grinder, so I had to wash my grinder out. Like, had to really, really, like, put some work in it just to actually get it to the point where, so I was like, man, I don't want my Seamoss smell like this. I don't want my powder smell like this, because it was like what Crystal said, it smelled like an old rag.
No.
But I actually tried some of it, and actually, I can see as far as what people say is benefits, because it seemed like it actually gave me a little slight, what I'm saying, it kind of reminded me of purple. And how you react to it. But there's another thing about it is that kind of goes back to what I was saying before, is that, I don't really trust it I don't really trust Congress and people saying it's Congress unless it's purple. And like, this was purple, so I was like, okay, so this is real Congress. So like I don't know, my brain is kind of stuck on when I see people say that they have Irish moss and it's actually tan color. It really doesn't feel like it's Irish moss.
But what if the guys bleached it like they do with the gold, like with the gold Seamoss and thing? That I could see it going from purple to the gold.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Okay, so this is another question I have for that, and this is even with somebody. I wish there was somebody that actually makes or actually has like, I'm not sure how. And there was I think I was having a conversation with somebody online. I'm not sure if it was either via messenger or they actually put it online. Is that it's hard for me to tell as far as the process that people are going through, to actually do powder, to make it so cheap. Because we know Congress Crispus, anybody that sells Congress Crispus is more expensive than what you would be buying gold Seamoss for. And so, like, when you see somebody that says they have Irish moss powder for $25 a pound, it's kind of hard to grasp that, because it's cheaper than a pound of real Congress Crispus or real Irish moss that you would get that's actually that's whole. Like, powder should be more expensive than the whole leaf, to be honest with you, because of the process you have to go through it. It just, like, I'm still trying to make it to make sense for me. And it's really hard. So that's like one of these things that I'm researching on, how these people have Irish moss, pounds of Irish moss powder for $23 to $25. I just don't think it's Irish moss.
Or maybe it's a low quality, or one that wasn't cleaned right, or maybe it's the stuff, like sometimes there's like flakes or whatever, you know what I mean? Like say it's the shake or whatever that they can't really sell, so that turns into low grade.
That is something that I was pretty much trying to tell myself, like, maybe this is just low. I'm like, but still, it's still for $25. You still have to go through processes, and so I think the lady was she was kind of upset because she's actually selling. She wants to make powder, but then she starts seeing powder for $25, and she's like, "How do we supposed to compete?" I'm like, "Okay, we're not supposed to compete. Like, that's not for us."
Yeah,
like,
fuck them. Just sell it. That's the. Sorry to interrupt you, but like, my price is. I don't know about you, but my price isn't the lowest price. You know what I mean, on the market. And when I started, it wasn't the lowest price. It was actually one of the highest price.
It's all about, like, really, it's all about the quality of what you're selling.
Yeah, the value.
I think people that know me know that I'm going through a process to get this into a powder for you. Like, I'm cleaning it. I'm making sure it's dried out. I'm dehydrating it. I'm grinding it into a fine powder, and that's a process that's going to cost me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I had to sell a pound of Seamoss for $45, then, and not to mention, this is another thing, is that even when you actually do powder, you can't take a pound of Seamoss and think that you're going to get a pound of powder out of it.
That's true.
You're probably going to get 12 to 13 ounces. If you just do a pound of Seamoss, you're probably going to get 12 to 13 ounces. Mm-hmm. You have to do about 20 ounces to get a pound of powder out of regular Seamoss. Like if you're taking Seamoss and you're breaking it down, you're gonna have to take 20 ounces to get a pound. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. So you're actually adding on 4 more ounces, and I get confused. I'm confused.
Yeah, but like
you know.
But to me, right, in any business, it comes down to, and I think you said it before, it's the value. What, like, you can sell your Seamoss for $100 a pound, but like you got to show the service and the support and everything to it to justify that $100 a pound. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's some people where I'm like, I can't do it for that price. Mainly even because it's like, if something goes wrong, like, I can't fix the problem because there's no profit to fix. You know what I mean? Like I tell people sometimes, like, there's no room to fix it. Like, I almost have to give you no frills because you've cut all that option away. You know, like, stuff costs what it costs. Like, I can't.
Yeah, you almost have to put like an as is on it.
Yeah, I can't.
As is. So if I send it to you and you don't like it, you can't bring it back, because then that means that if you try to return it, then I'm losing money once it needs to be returned.
Yeah.
Like, so you gotta take it like, hey, I give you as is price, and you just take whatever. Mm-hmm. But then you don't really want to do that because that just don't feel right. Yeah. As far as business wise, like, I wouldn't want to do that. As far as business wise, that wouldn't feel right to me.
No, exactly. So one of the questions I'm getting here is, I think we answered it, is the Seamoss powder washed before and dried? Now, not every Seamoss powder is washed. And this is why Ricky was saying before, you would want to know who's doing the stuff, because some people can just, pick whatever and just, they can buy the lowest quality and grind that up. And then others can take the time, wash it, clean it, make sure it smells good, and it's got no contaminants, and grind that up. I don't know. Like, I'm more careful about who it is, And then I am Tabby. Jane said, is asking, do you have a recipe to make powder? And I think that's pretty simple, right? You just kind of clean it, dehydrate it, grind it, and that's powder.
Yes, that's pretty much the recipe. So what I end up doing is, once I get the Seamoss, I'm going to wash it off, make sure it's washed off, just like you would do right before you actually make your gel. So the same thing you do before you make your gel and soak it, I do the exact same thing. Instead of soaking mine, as soon as I wash it off, I put it into a dehydrator. Yeah. So I like to dehydrate mine not at a high level. Uh-huh. Like, I don't want it to get super dry. As far as just brittle. Uh-huh. So I'll actually wash it, and then I'll dehydrate it maybe 8.5 hours at right around 60 to 65 degrees Celsius. I try to keep it right there so it doesn't dry really bad. And then after that 8.5 hours, I use my Hamilton mill or my Ninja, and I grind it into like little pieces. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to feed through my hammer mill grinder. And that's, once I put it through my hammer mill grinder, it's fine powder after that.
Boom, boom, boom. And so, yeah, you sell the hammer mill grinder, right? Because, like, there's all different models and options you can get, right? But you have the one that you found works best for you.
I've seen a lot of different grinders, mm-hmm. And you'll see a lot of different grinders, but truthfully, the hammer mill is the only one that I've seen take Seamoss and turn it into a fine powder.
Yeah.
Like I'm hoping somebody actually finds another machine that does it. But most of the machines that I know will actually turn it into a coarser powder. It's not really consistent. I like my powder to be consistent. I like my powder to be like powder, like fine powder. That and so I typically like the hammer mill's been that's my baby.
Nice. No, I know you've been putting a lot of work into that. You know what I mean? Getting the pills out, making the powder, and also stuff, which is nice. Actually, someone's commenting here. It says, by the way, your super dried powder made a big difference for my capsule process. I cleaned it really good and didn't soak. So, yeah. Because I guess once you clean it, you can get it, like, you know what I mean? It'll break up a little bit.
Like, and especially with, okay, so this is what I say about, like, you know, because I actually use our super dried Seamoss, like the brittle Seamoss that we don't sell to anybody because, you know, it's basically for product purposes, which doesn't have a lot of salt on it anyway, topical salt.
No.
So it's really easy to clean, and that's the biggest thing about it is the cleaning process. Like even with me actually going through the Condress when I was doing it, like I wish I would have actually did more. As far as I wish I actually took the powder and put all the powder through my grinder, because there was other things in the powder. Like, so I would actually see these other things before they actually hit the grinder. I could have took them out. But there's certain things like, you know, I don't know. There's like almost like a slight rock, and I was like, oh man, like Joker about to eat a rock. And so I guess I'm so picky.
Yeah.
I'm so like really to be honest with you, I use all my products. Yeah. You know, like I wouldn't want to sell you anything that I wouldn't want myself, and I would like if it was my project, I probably would have been a little bit more hands on, but I had to do it specifically for what this person wanted, which was, and I love the project. I just, you know how I look at everything like, oh man, if I would have did this, I would have did this. It could have been a lot better. And you know, I told him like, hey, you know, next time, man, just bring everything to me. Let me start it from start. Let me just give me the Condress. I'll actually wash it off. I'll actually bring it through my. I'll dehydrate. I'll do everything for you because I just want people to have the best product. Like, you know, even if it's not our Seamoss, like I'm cool with that as long as it's helping people get their best product out of the product that they have. That's all that matters.
And I think people need to be open to sort of like outsourcing certain aspects of their business, especially like, because like when you want to scale, it's kind of like, are you like you're going to have to do this anyways. You're either going to have to outsource it or you're going to have to hire the staff, and you know, really got to focus on what your time concerns are. If you're willing to put it in the time to manage the staff and stuff like that, because that's actually something that I've been kind of like sort of struggling with is as I'm growing, as I'm realizing I'm gonna have to hire staff and I'm figuring out who I'm going to bring in and stuff like that. But like at the same time, I'm so friggin' cheap, and I'm watching some of these guys that I'm like, you know, even like I'll bring them in for a day to help me, and I'm just watching them work, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I could do this twice as fast and talk half as much, and I get more done, and I could like I almost feel like I need to pay myself, you know what I mean, to do the work.
Yes, definitely. Like, I think I'm the same way. I'm so hands on that it's hard for me to actually hire somebody because I do too much micromanaging, and with me and micromanaging is kind of
Yeah. The only one I really trust, like I would pay, but he's already got a job, is my brother. That guy, I trust him, like, without a doubt. Like, that guy's like a second me. You know what I mean? He's more cautious. He's actually more serious than I am, you know? But he already has a job and a family, so I'm waiting for him to decide to retire, and then I'll snatch him up or I'll bring him in.
That's what you do. You try to convert them slowly.
Yeah. I'm also trying to get him to open up a bacon business because he barbecues for Harvey's. Dude, he makes a mean brisket. Fuck yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, really.
You know how I got love for brisket.
Oh, man. He does good competition style. And so he does that. He enters in like barbecue competitions and stuff. And so he started making bacon just as a hobby. And then people would see his bacon and they're like, oh, I want some. So he started making extra. And I'm like, bro, you can make a whole business. You know how many people want good, proper bacon, like not from the store? Not, you know what I mean? That's, people are willing to pay money for things that are built properly and taste good, like, and you know what I mean, is gonna work. Like, there is this group of people that are cheap, right? I'm one of them. I'm not gonna deny it. I like saving money. I like getting things on discounts. I shop totally at Winners. That's my life. Like, I don't think I've ever stopped in a shop outside of Winners. Like, once in a while, Winners and Costco. That's where I get my clothes. No lie. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. Like,
I try to be cheap, but it just don't work.
Yeah. But the thing is, here's the thing. I'll spend money on something that I see of value and good quality. Do you know what I'm saying? So there are a couple items that I own, but I usually don't buy them. My wife buys them, so she's the one that does the shopping and stuff like that. But if I
spend a lot of money on experimenting,
trying the different products and stuff like that.
Yeah,
man.
That's where most of my money goes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get a little bit of money. I buy a couple more products so I can experiment. I'm kind of on that same concoction that I made last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it, and I almost think it's almost too much herbs because, like, I don't know. So I took it last night, or I think it was last night or the night before, I believe. And when I took it, I don't know. It's like, something maybe too good, and your body just don't react to it the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's too much.
Yeah, it's like it had. Okay, so it was 8 grams of. It had beetroot, moringa, Seamoss, maca, and ashwagandha.
8 grams?
Yeah, so it's not 8 grams of all of them, but all together combined it was 8 grams.
In one pill?
It wasn't even in one pill. I actually just have it in a powder form. I made a smoothie out of it.
Oh, okay.
And so I was trying because I didn't want to put it into pill form. I just wanted to keep it in in like the powder form, so you can just add it to your smoothie. And I think it's way too much. Actually, to be honest with you, this is the first time I was like, you know what? I think I have too much herbs in it because my body feels dried out. There's just certain things like I've been trying to get right ever since I actually did it.
Yeah, you probably need to just flush it out of your system, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah. Drink like a quart of water or something like that, a gallon of water.
Yeah, I have to go back to the drawing board on that one. I need a herbalist around me to kind of tell me, hey, you're doing too much, bro.
But that's it, you know what I mean? This is how you learn the stuff. You need even sometimes to see how far you can go, to know how far back you can take it. You know what I mean? Like, you need to see what your maximum is to find the middle between your medium.
Yeah, I definitely see. I definitely need to come up with something new for that. I might end up dropping it down to like 3.5 ounces or 3.5 grams.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's gonna be too much for all those things to be combined to 8 grams.
Just, at one time. That's like a power shot. But
it was a super power shot. Like, I felt it and it's like, woo. And then it was like, man, hold on, let me shake this off.
Yeah, man. Jeez. That's I haven't tried a lot of those herbs. Like I want to try the ashwagandha. That seems like pretty cool stuff.
And well, another thing is also, I actually want to make sure that. Come on, God. I also want to make sure that, because I don't think I drank enough water. That's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think my water intake wasn't enough to actually make it do exactly what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. I actually like the bay leaves. Oh my gosh. I got to get on packaging. I got a lot of these herbs now. I got to start packaging, and I want to learn some of them. Like, I know a little bit of the bay leaves, and I find that's good. Actually, bay leaves, I find, is also helping with activating like that aphrodisiac properties. And I think it has stuff for like inducing inflammation and for the blood. That's what I think of something. But I want to learn more about this King of the Forest. I don't know. Do you know anything about King of the Forest? No, that's what I want to learn. Seemed pretty cool. King of the Forest, and then they got these pods that came with it. They got these seeds. Which is pretty interesting that I was able to get past, what do you call it? Like, I thought this might get stopped at the border or something, because, you know what I mean? There's certain things you can, like, leaves are okay, but roots aren't. And, like, I think even seeds aren't. Because they don't want you planting shit and growing some kind of invasive species. You know? Yeah. I learn more about this thing in the forest. This cinnamon stick. Oh my gosh. I haven't shown you pictures of this cinnamon stick. It's not even like cinnamon stick. It's like cinnamon. Yeah, it's like bark. And so what I found out is this is from like an older cinnamon tree. And so this is, this is very good cinnamon. Huh?
I said, so it's potent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like rich. Have to take a look at. Smell the whole bag. Pardon?
I said, Crystal watching on Facebook right now, so I can see it at the house.
So you should see the cinnamon sticks. You want me to do a close up? That's badass, right?
Yeah.
So I got to figure out how to sell this and package it. I think I might do like 1 ounces or something like that. I don't know. But good for seasoning. And I'm going to try and taste a piece right now. While we were looking up earlier, though, I was looking up some info on colors with the Seamoss. And so, like, while we were talking, whatchamacallit, someone says your office must smell amazing. Yeah, it sounds pretty good because I got all kinds of herbs, plus soursop and stuff like that. Soursop, bay leaves, cinnamon sticks. What else I got? I don't know. I'll show them later. But what was I just about to say before I got distracted? Oh, the colors on the Seamoss. So, you know, mango sea vegetables?
Yes.
Yeah. So they have an article there that kind of goes in and starts talking about the different colors and how they can have issues, like not issues, but they can be connected with the polysaccharides and also like different amino acids that pertain to the colors. And let me go back up here to the top or some of the stuff it was saying because, you know, when you scroll down, you start reaching all this stuff. So it says all seaweeds produce chlorophyll, a critical component of the synthetic system that converts sunlight into metabolic fuel that gives many plants their familiar green color. Sunlight passes through different wavelengths and the color spectrum gets filtered out. This means that photosynthesis organisms living deeper in deeper water need different pigments to carry out photosynthesis to the color. So I guess, they say it, like the deeper it is, the difference of the colors it's going to be. I don't want to go too much into it because it's a long article. It's the difference between red, green, brown seaweeds. So I think this is all over the general sort of species of the different types of seaweeds, but it does make mention of like I said, the polysaccharides, the chlorophyll, the what was it also? The different amino acids that come with that, different sets of colors that are normal in foods.
So do they kind of go in depth about it?
They do more on the general, like on the species level, because as with Seamoss, they have red, brown, green, and I think blue algae. That's the type. Yeah. So I think they're talking more about the species in this article, but they do, like, I feel like some of the stuff that they take that draw the reasons of why these colors have these sort of effects can allow you to sort of dig deeper and see how it can apply to the Pacific sea moss that you're taking, whether purple sea moss will have these pigment colors or not. You know what I mean? Um, like I said, I just researched this now as we were looking. So to say, did I go and vet this and check it out? No, but I feel like it's like one of those things where this starts the path down the rabbit hole to kind of get the answer. I don't think this is going to have all the answers, but it's going to start asking questions that will lead you deeper into the answer, the actual answer.
Oh, perfect. Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're not going down a rabbit hole today?
I mean, we could a little bit. Let's see. I don't mind. I mean, a lot of times we talk about all this kind of other stuff, and I think sometimes people want more about Seamoss and the education side, and you know what I mean. And so, a lot of times I know the stuff, but I like to I feel like almost like discovering it online or live while, you know what I mean. I'm doing it with people because it's almost like we're working it out together. Than me just, I don't know. I still have to download those books that Yusuf showed. Actually, some of those, maybe that's what I gotta kind of get into, is get a couple of those books and then sort of see if they have information, because they probably do have information on the different colors and how they play, like what kind of amino acids are in different colors and this and that. But see, from what I understand or what I could find, there's no real studies on the sea moss that we do, like purple sea moss once it's dry. There's no real studies on whatchamacallit, even gold, like the difference between the gold or full spectrum. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if you're ever going to get the true a real answer. You might get information that will point you in the right direction that you can make an assumption, but I don't know. I don't see anybody doing studies on that, honestly. You know what's crazy though? I watched. I think it was my wife that showed me this video today on. It was Shark Tank. Oh wow. So I'm eating that cinnamon, and I really chewed it and got right into it, and it was had a really nice, not strong, it's not like the cinnamon you get when you chew the gum. It's like a really Like it was a bit sharp for a second, but it had a nice taste to it. I could see that. I gotta mix that every time in my tea. You know what I mean? That'd be a nice season for that. But yeah, so these guys were on Shark Tank and they were making like, dude, it's coming. Like the big corporations are circling around. I'm curious to see where they're supplying their product. But this girl, these two girls came up with a product that was basically plant-based bacon
Wow.
made from seaweeds. They didn't say which specific seaweeds, but they developed this technology that separates the seaweeds and creates a protein powder. I think it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I think they just grinded that shit. It looked kind of like almost like Condor's Christmas powder that they grinded or something. But they're saying they patent some extraction process, and this and that. Yeah, I don't know. I was laughing at it, but the whole point is, for me telling you this, is that one of the ladies got a $5 million grant to study seaweeds, deep seaweed farming in the ocean for biofuels.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Now this is okay. So when you just said bacon, like it makes me think. I think I was talking to you about this a couple months ago that I started making something called fruit leather.
Yes.
With the Seamoss.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually would come out the exact same way.
Uh-huh.
Only thing you're doing is, and really what it is that you exchange the fruit out for something that would taste like bacon, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you end up doing is you end up grinding it like into a food processor. Once you grind it into a food processor, it turns out into like a paste.
Mm-hmm.
And when you actually get into a paste, then you just put it in the oven or you put it into a dehydrator.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns into like what I would call almost like beef jerky. But the thing is that the reason why you can't call it beef jerky is because they have the jerky patent. So you have to
leather.
So that's why everybody calls it fruit leather, which is the exact same. It's really like, it's almost like a fruit roll up.
But you could probably do like savory items too, right? Like it doesn't have to be all fruit based. Like you could
it doesn't have to be fruit based. Like you can actually put in but a lot of times you can make something taste like bacon just by adding a certain seasoning to it. Mm-hmm. And it could be you can turn an apple and have an apple taste like a hickory bacon.
Mm-hmm. No, you're so true.
It definitely is possible.
But I mean,
I'm not sure exactly what extraction they have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And is that is that gonna take away the whatchamacallit, the quality of the the value of the Seamoss? You know what I mean? But the reality is this: the Seamoss is high in protein, right? And as our world gets bigger and food becomes more expensive, this is going to become a viable option, and people are going to take this and change it into different food products. And not only that, but people are going to be open to purchasing these items. So if you make a product like this, they're going to maybe especially if you're vegan, like everybody's sick of soy, right? And isn't soy not supposed to be good for? I'm not a vegetarian or vegan or whatever, right? So I don't know the rules, but from what I heard, soy is not supposed to be good for you. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, a lot of people don't like soy.
Yeah.
Just how it's made, and it's not really good. It's not really healthy.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people look at soy as worse than almost eating meat.
Yeah, but some people have no option. They have to have that. You know what I mean? But if people were making more products out of Seamoss that could replace soy, you know what I mean? Like, why not?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to end up going that route because, now, you see seaweed chips, or the same stuff that they actually make they make sushi out of.
Yeah. The
You
nori.
had to get those chips and just eat them. And so I see a lot of people just eating those chips. I'm like, okay, so wow, this is
My kids
really
love them.
becoming a thing.
Dude, my kids love them. When I was growing up, like I had to buy them by the case in Costco because they would have them with their lunch and the snacks and stuff.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, like, you know, things are like times are changing. Like back in the day, I couldn't even think about eating nothing like that. Like, what in the world is that? Like,
seaweed.
Yeah, now it's like that's
You get teased, man.
like if you like okay, so it's kind of getting to the point now for younger people. If you don't eat healthy, they look at you crazy.
Yeah.
Like you like they be like, you going to McDonald's?
Like,
Like you eat McDonald's
every day? Oh man.
Like yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm all here. I'm here for it because I'm like yeah, like you know our kids are changing up the whole entire way that the world thinks of everything. So just think of how many kids have adapted to not really eating meat, or meat not being their main source of how they get their protein. Like now, they like my son asked me about green drink. I'm like, really, son? You want a green drink?
Yeah. When my daughter was younger, like even from like 5, she never liked chocolate and stuff. She would pick like vegetables and fruit over candy all the time. Like when we would go to the movies, she would pick the fruit, like not fruit basket, but the vegetables and dip. That's what she loved. She loved vegetables and dip. So she'd sit there and eat the broccoli and the cauliflower and the carrots, you know, in the movie. She loved that shit.
That's so different than how we grew up. They didn't even have those options back in the day.
Yeah, I know. It was not possible at all.
To go to the movies, like it was either popcorn or nachos.
Yeah.
Choose. Or candy. Popcorn, nachos, or candy. There's no healthy alternatives. We don't have a healthy alternative. I don't remember us having healthy alternatives.
No way, man. And bubble tea. Yeah, the Bull City Sitter, he says bubble tea. My kids are going Google for bubble tea. They have the tapioca in the closet. They make their own. Can you imagine, dude? You sitting at home making tapioca balls for your drink before you had it as a kid. You're like, what? Although they are pretty good, like so I enjoy them. I like that, and these gummies, the sour keys. I got one right here. They're the best. Oh, it's just so tight though. Actually, you know what I'm craving? I'm gonna have later. I'm just waiting for the ice cream to firm up. I haven't so long. Ice cream sandwich.
You're having an ice cream sandwich?
Because when I was shopping, right, and these guys were buying ice cream, they had fudgicle ice cream on sale, and then I saw chocolate chip waffles. So I was like, yeah, I haven't had that like in years.
Oh man, hold on. I think I'm gonna get on IG. Hold on, just a second.
All right. Just had the almond one. I wonder what almond one you had. Yo, what's up?
What's going on, man? All right.
I'm there, chilling. You know what I mean? Still haven't changed out of my church clothes. I've been wearing it all day.
I'm actually, I decided to lay down. Crystal's downstairs. She's probably on either Facebook or IG. I don't know which one she's on. She said she's gonna pop up. let's see if she ends up popping up and going live.
Yeah, if she wants me to send her a link so she can go live through Facebook, let me know, and I'll post it. Actually, I should just post it right now. She should come on live and talk about her products that she has.
That's what I told her. I'm like, I can talk about soaps only so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
listen, the soaps are, sorry to interrupt you, but soaps are amazing. Like, my daughter made me a bunch of soaps, Seamoss soaps. She did something simple. She just did melt and pour, and she did some with the like, she made the gel, mixed that in, and then had some bits of Seamoss, and she made some other ones where the Seamoss salt. That's something she should try, is putting the Seamoss salt and using that as like an exfoliant.
Okay, so the thing is that I was kind of telling her about that with her bath bombs, but you know what? I had to blame it on me because I never keep the salt. Like I typically throw the salt away. Like, I can actually go through probably one of my big crates and get her a whole bunch of salt real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always like I'm the person that I'm a neat freak sometimes, and so like as soon as I get done with it, I'm like, oh, there's too much salt, and so I just go take it outside, jump it, and then wash the crate out, and then start over again. I never really think about keeping the salt, and so when you guys said that last week, I actually started being a little bit more mindful of it.
Well, the soaps are amazing. I use them. That's the only, because my skin gets kind of sensitive. I'm allergic to a lot of shit, eh?
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff. I'm even allergic to marijuana, cannabis oil, hemp seeds, bark, like trees, grass, pollen, dogs, any kind of rodent, like horses, cows.
You can never go outside, man.
A lot of things I have to be very careful of, like what I touch, and then touch my face, because I'll break out in hives.
Oh wow.
That's why I was never worried about like COVID and stuff. I was like, I don't touch my face. I don't touch things and then go touch my eyes. Like, that doesn't happen.
Because you've been trained not to. Oh, like me, I'm like, oh man, look. Like, I do this all day long, and so I would always have to worry about it.
I'm always touching the dog, so I have to wash my hands. Every time I touch the dog, I can't touch my face. You know what I mean? Won't go crazy. And he's so cute.
The soaps are amazing. Like, this is, and everybody that actually uses her soaps, like, the responses back are just amazing. Like, I didn't understand it at first because, before this scenario, I use Irish Spring or body wash real quick and not worry about it. But now I'm starting to really see the difference in the soaps that I'm using, because I don't use nothing but her soaps now. And so, it's amazing. I'm not going to, like, as far as I do the elbow test, because I'm not, I really don't have too much discoloration in my skin or anything of that nature. So it's kind of hard for me to tell exactly. But the elbows will let you know everything. Like, my elbows are dark and they're actually getting lighter now. So I'm like, oh, my elbows getting light. I said, y'all better watch out for my elbows be the same color as the rest of my skin.
Yeah. Well, that's important. One thing he said here, salt will work great for hot or cold process and bath bombs. If you add salt to the melt and pour, it attracts moisture and your salt will sweat. That's true. And another thing, if you do use the salt, you got to kind of be mindful of where you're collecting it from or how you're collecting it from, because sometimes the salt can have sand in it. And if you put too much, it'll make the salt, the whole water dirty. Okay. It will look like mud, like you dump mud in it or something. Yeah, what's up, the kid?
I'm gonna have to collect the salt so she can actually use it, because she actually been making bath bombs lately. That's her thing right now, that she kind of infatuated with bath bombs. So she's been making all these new different bath bombs, which are lovely. I won't use them because they're bath bombs, but like that's one of those situations where Like she gets on to me because she's like, men use bath bombs. I'm like, what men use bath bombs? I'm like, and so I actually had a survey, and I asked, do men use bath bombs? And there was a few men that said yeah, and then most men said no. But I come up with an era where I barely even take a bath, so like it's pretty much strictly shower for me.
But here's the thing: ask the man how many would use one if they were given one.
That is a true statement.
Mm-hmm. Like, because most of them won't buy it.
Yeah, if their wife set up a bath for them and dropped a bath bomb in it, would they book it? Would they like, no, I'm not getting in there? Or would they be like, oh well? That is a good question. Like, you know, just me personally, I'm okay. So this is the thing. Most time when I take a bath, I don't even do the water. She does the water for me.
This is what I'm saying. So you don't.
So she does the water. It's like I'm never gonna like. It's hard for me to say, okay, hey, I'm gonna take a bath and start the water off and everything like that. That's just
forget it. You'll first forget the water's running and the tub overflows.
Exactly. That's one reason. Another reason why I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna take a shower. Like I'm like, I don't have time for a bath. Like that's my whole thing. I don't have time to sit and take a bath and all this other stuff. But if I start feeling like, anytime I feel like sore or anything, like she's like, oh, run you a bath and you can just soak in a bath. Or she feels like I need to relax for a little bit, she'll run me a bath. But
you know what you can even do. Here's an idea I just had. When you're introducing the men's line, you do some kind of like his and her package. And so, because really, it's not going to be so much the men buying these bath bombs for themselves until they've had a couple bath bombs and they're like, shit, I like these bath bombs. I'm going to go get them myself, right? Yeah. They're never going to be a first adopter. But if someone got them for a gift, then, you know what I mean? It's different.
I think another thing, when you actually think about bath bombs, you're actually thinking about the smell. And so I'm not like I don't want to smell like no woman. So you know, I'm like, I don't want no cucumber melon.
Yeah.
Like, so if you put like a Tom Ford bath bomb in there that smells like some Tom Ford, or it smell like a certain scent, then it may work. Yeah. Like I might be like, oh, that's all right. Like, yeah, I'll bathe in that. Like, that smells good.
Patchouli or something like that.
Yeah, like something that's not so, like, I don't want no fruity smell. No. Just like, yeah.
But that's why it's got to be like a his and her kind of thing. You know what I mean? There's a bath bomb for her, a bath bomb for. I'm not going to wear some flowery lilac stuff. But if you had some kind of Axe kind of smelling, you know what I mean, thing that looks sharp.
I don't want no flowers in my bath bomb. I just want a bath bomb. Like, so, because she actually has a man's bath bomb. It's a charcoal.
Yeah.
And like, I looked at it, I'm like, okay, this ain't bad. I just haven't used them. Like, I just be honest, I just have not used it.
No.
Like, I guess you probably look at me crazy. Like, I don't know. She'll probably come in like, yeah, he doesn't use bath bomb.
No, but it's understandable that you aren't using them. Like I said, I don't think that these products are marketable. Like, how do I say it? It's like the men aren't the first target market. Like, if I was selling them, I would hit the women to get them for the men, and then I would hit the men on the secondary market. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, because they're gonna get it as a gift first, but then, you know, like. It's funny. As a kid, I remember I was wearing tighty whities forever until I got boxers as a gift. And it was just like, never went back to underwear. You know what I mean? It was boxers for the rest of my life. So
that is a true statement.
Yeah. So
the tighty whities was hidden until you realized the tighty whities weren't hitting no more.
It didn't feel comfortable. It was like, whoa, now I got some room down there. Yeah. I like these boxes. And I just, because I just thought about it. I was like, I never bought boxes after that. I mean, underwear. I would never buy underwear after that. But I never knew about it until I tried it. So it's almost like these products. There's a lot of products where people are like, it's almost like you have to try and get them into a gift, and then once they get it as a gift, then you kind of like you hook them on That's something people need to sort of market too. Is like buy this stuff for people as a gift. Do you know what I mean? I wonder if there's like a that's something some people should do is like a Christmas package. Do you know what I mean? Like imagine you're giving a bunch of gifts and or you're selling, give the gift of health and you sell smaller quantities for people to, um, to kind of give as a gift or whatever. I don't know, to try it out. I don't know. Just rumbling through some ideas.
Yeah, I'm over here actually looking at. I got finished. Like, there's so much wholesale stuff I got put on my website still, as far as soaps and stuff. And I was just remembering that I had to put bath bombs on for somebody that actually asked if we have bath bombs in wholesale. So really, what happened was that a lot of stuff that actually Crystal had on her website, like we've been doing wholesale with it, like, and so a lot of people would just go to her website and do nothing but wholesale. And so she's like, we're both like, okay, we don't. She didn't want her site to be a wholesale site. She wanted it to be a retail. As I talked about.
Hey, how's it going?
So, yeah.
I've been having technical difficulties over here. I was trying to get on Facebook and it wasn't working on Facebook, and now I'm on IG. So I'm like.
I don't know what it is with Facebook. It has, problems. But if you're trying to connect with, like, so I'm on 2 different groups on Facebook. But if you're trying to connect, as in like how we're talking now, I actually have to send you a link and then I can bring you on as a guest and then it adds in the 2 of us. So,
okay.
Yeah. But other than that, and then some of them lately, I haven't been able to see the comments in there and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you got some great ideas. I was hearing what you were saying, and I was like, ooh, I was messaging, and I'm like, that sounds awesome, like a package. I thought about that before. I've got a couple of friends that just recently got married, and I was like, oh, I should have sent them like a little honeymoon package or something like that. Because guys really don't. I mean, I know guys that are, my age, maybe younger, that are using bath bombs or that are really into bath bombs, but like, a little older, maybe not so much.
Where are they buying them from? Well,
I think, the thing about it is, it's more so because what we're doing with bath bombs is we're putting Seamoss in them, and they've never heard of that before. So, they're probably typically just walking through the stores and finding them in the stores and things like that.
Yeah.
But, to see that there's Seamoss in it, it's like, well, what's that? And of course, it's an education point for them. And, I think when I did the charcoal bath bombs, a lot of people just wanted to know, well, how's the cleanup afterwards?
Yeah. How's it going to stain and stuff like that? Because that's what happens when I've done in St. Lucia, they have this volcano, like a sulfur springs. And like you get this mud on you. It's like this black mud. And when you wash it off, it's like everywhere. But like you brought an interesting point. I think that if the Seamoss, if the bath bomb served a purpose, like say I drop this in after you work out and this will help ail your body or whatever, or drop this in when you're, going to bed, this will help you relax and sleep better. Or if you take a bath in the morning or something like that, or some kind of like after workout soak, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. I could see guys picking that up for a purpose. But no dude's going to buy that. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say it. No dude that I'm aware of would buy that for the sole purpose of just dumping it in the water and so he can soak in some smelly scents.
That's what I say. So you're right there with me. Like,
yeah.
Like it was hard for me to, and then I really, truthfully, like I never set my own bath. Like she sets it up for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I usually just razzle dazzle it, throw little herbs in there.
Yeah. But like if it was something that like I could see myself getting something like for my dad, and he would sit and soak in it and just relax in it and stuff like that. And so maybe, I don't know, think about that. You know what I mean? You know, what can you do that can be like muscle relaxants or something like that? What kind of herbs can you add to do that? You know?
Absolutely. So most of the herbs that I do use for like bath bombs are typically like they're more so for detoxing. I mean, of course, the charcoal is for detoxing and things like that. But more recently, I've done a moringa and yarrow flower bath bomb.
Yeah.
We haven't released that one just yet, but I did get some good pictures of it here.
Do you have I was gonna split to ask you, do you have any samples or anything? Show us some stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I know she have one.
I know she's like you're sitting right there.
Let's see the quality of that. That looks pretty.
It's really simple, you know, but
no, that's a nice design on the top. So is that Seamoss on the top there?
This is actually the yarrow flower. Now the Seamoss is in the powder into the bath bomb. So I usually just use the powder to form the bath bombs there.
Yeah.
But you know something, I wondered though, because I haven't really tried the aspect like to put the Seamoss as the design on top, but I feel like that's something that I'll be doing next. I'm still thinking about all kind of ideas for different bath bombs to release. So that's actually a point.
It might be cool to have little pieces of it at least, you know what I mean? And they soak in the tub with you. So kind of like how the flowers are or something. I know when my daughter made the soaps, that's what she put in the soaps. That's cool to have the soap, and it can be sort of like kind of like an exfoliant because it's like it scrubs on the skin, right?
Yeah, so you know, when I first started researching like Seamoss soaps, I think that the first soap that I saw was like a honey and turmeric, but it had the actual Seamoss dropped in, and I was like, "That's amazing!" I was like, "We've got to try this." And originally, I started making the soaps with just the Seamoss pieces and things like that, and it does create a really good exfoliate feel for it. So. That's definitely something that I need to start doing with the bath bombs too, because that would actually be awesome. Just to have that dissolve in the water, and you know, it just adds those extra nutrients and things. So that's actually a good point. I'll probably try to do that with one of the bath bombs that I'll be making here shortly.
Nice.
With the soaps though, I usually, you know, I still use the powder because it is like a light exfoliation. You know, sometimes there's an exfoliation with different bath salts and things like that it's really, really coarse. And ideally, when I make the soaps, I want it to be like a total body bar. And so people can use them for the face as well. You know, you don't want to have something that's way too coarse. So that's why I use the powder. But a lot of the different ingredients that I use, of course, are just essential oils and things like that. A lot of them do work together with the Seamoss in order to help with like acne and dark spots and just maintaining radiance of the skin and sealing in that moisture, as well as providing supple skin. So
nice.
A lot of stuff there.
Do you ever have issues with the bath bomb expanding, causing it to break because of the powder?
You know something, I'm not sure if it's the powder. I try to stay as natural as possible when I'm creating the bath bomb. So sometimes I'll use, instead of, most bath bombs are made with like witch hazel and things like that, but I'll try not to have to use witch hazel, but just water in very minimal amounts so that everything is 100% natural. I think that's some of the reason, like if you gotta have it just right on down to the amount that's used, or you will get a broken bomb, maybe a really dry bomb, maybe a really wet bomb that never dries the proper way, and then it doesn't have that fizz that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do sometimes have some issues like that, but I think I've been making them for about a year now.
Wow, a year.
Yeah, about a year now. I've been making Seamoss bath bombs.
Can you do wholesale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
as a matter of fact,
no, because listen, you say this a point, and I've mentioned this earlier about like outsourcing. It's kind of like sometimes it's better to pay someone who's been doing it for a year, who knows all the stuff, who can do the scale, can do the ramping up, than it is to like, I don't know. I see too many times us like as Black people, we're always like trying to be the full train. Do you know what I mean? And run every sort of, and it's good if you can, if you're good at that and you can do it. But a lot of times some of them are not good. And you know, I've talked to sometimes, especially in St. Lucia, where some of these guys in the industry have kind of said, and maybe some of them are farmers that have said this to me. They're like, sometimes these farmers need to stay farmers and sellers need to stay sellers. And we just need to work together better. You know what I mean? And it's that mix up that because you know what I mean, there's even sellers trying to be farmers and vice versa, and it's kind of like, you know, we should have our own sort of like, you know, do what we do best, you know what I mean? So I don't know, that was just a thought there.
I agree on that. I definitely have been listening to wholesale. Had a couple of clients that like to order. Well, one of them particularly, she orders a lot of soap for me, and I do a wholesale situation for her, and she's just wanting to move.
She's breaking up a little.
Yeah. She's in the downstairs basement.
Basement, yeah, that's what happens. But that's cool stuff. She's been doing it a year. Is she?
I went upstairs.
Is she selling her stuff on Etsy or?
No, she actually and her phone died.
That's that typical. That happens. Lesson number 1: when you come on the live stream, you need to charge your phone.
So she comes up and takes my cord.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
I will just bring that downstairs.
Really?
Yeah. That's the reason why I've been on mine. I'm actually putting your bath bomb on my website right now.
We fight here over charger. Everybody's got a charger with their name on it.
Like most of the time, like I would. Okay, so I'm bad about chargers, like especially, you know. Okay, so this is where I typically will lose all my chargers is in U-Hauls.
Oh, because like, you forget them in the.
Yeah, like I think about 3 or 4 people have got chargers from me from U-Haul.
With the US what do they call it? The adapter.
Yeah, the adapter. So most
I have
time,
one
like,
here.
and she goes crazy because she like, I'm coming back, and exactly. So I come back from picking up Seamoss, and most of the time I'm like in a frantic rush, and so I just drop off. I drop off the U-Haul. I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm like, I left my charger.
Like, damn it, and it's gone. That's it. Once they clean that out, that you know.
Well, because a lot of times, so another thing what happens, I end up having to buy a charger because I don't have one on me. I just keep it in my car, and so when I get into the truck, I'm like, oh shit, I don't have enough. Yeah. And then I was like, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna have enough battery, so I end up stopping someplace and buying a charger.
Yes.
And then it usually ends up staying in there, and I'm just like, I just spent $15.
And then it's gone.
I'm bad at that. Like, I'm super bad at that.
You gotta go order like a bulk, like.
But now her chargers aren't working. Like, the thing is, her chargers aren't working, so she has to come take mine. But typically, I'm the one that actually gets in trouble for me not having my charger. No. So now I can look at her crazy like, you really just took my charger?
Yeah. Again, I always get yelled at for taking the chargers. All the time. It's like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? It is what it is. I got to invest in more chargers. You know? Oh.
I'm about to step off my website. Like, you know, okay, so I actually asked her, I'm like, hey, can you put these bath bombs and all this other stuff on my website for me. And so, like, this is me micromanaging.
Yes.
So I'm going on there trying to do it myself. And so it's kind of like not letting me.
Yeah.
And when I look up again, it's on there. I'm like, okay, so she must be on my website, adding the stuff to my website.
While
so I guess
talking.
I need to stop micromanaging. I'll wait till she
gets it
I'm
done.
upstairs. I'm not going downstairs. I'm surprised one of us got kids by us. So it's not me right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're keeping her busy.
So, like, yeah, they don't follow me nowhere. Like,
I think she's
they
back.
know daddy's always working, but mommy can't get on live.
I think she's coming on.
I'm just shaking my head. I hear you, Ricky.
They got the supersonic ears, Ricky. You gotta watch that shit. You know what I mean? They're on it. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta be careful what I like let loose on the live stream, because the next morning I get them like, you know, the side look or whatever they do that. You know, I heard what you said last night about your family.
I think she's so used to me not having a filter that it's kind of like,
Yes.
My filter has gone.
You know, yeah. I try to have a filter. I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes you just get caught up in the moment.
Myself. Yeah. Sometimes I stop myself, and most of the time I don't.
No.
Most times.
No. So you got to be honest. You know, it's the truth that gets you. You know, you just got to speak the truth. If you know, you know.
See, and then now we can get on here and ask you about Bebande.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, how do you like? Did you try it for yourself? Do you like it? I've been trying to get my wife to get it. She's like, I don't want your witch doctor concoction.
It works.
I told you.
He's had everybody ask me in the past and say, he'd call me and he'd say, how's that Bebande work? And I'd say, well, my response is always, we've got 6 kids.
Yes, there you go.
It works.
Yes. But do you take it yourself, and do you find any, like, how do you say it, any difference?
So, yeah. How did you like it when you took it?
Yeah. Because I know how it works for men. Don't need to sell me on that. Trust me.
I would say I felt energized.
Yeah. Okay.
It definitely works. I definitely noticed a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't really know. So for men, like, are you energized or is it just?
It's like.
No, we're just ready.
Okay.
We're just ready.
It's like I could do this. I could literally do this.
I don't even call it energy. It's like you know how you say it's go time. It's go time.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'd be knocking at the door.
It doesn't. But okay, so me personally, like, I actually feel energy during.
Yes.
Like it's like sometimes I have to say, "Oh, hold on, I'm doing too much."
Yeah. No, it gets.
And so, yeah, the energy don't start until the energy needs to start.
That's true. You have to initiate it a little bit, but like for me, it's like that, and I found it was not only the strength was the harder, but it was more like it swelled up. You know what I mean? And then the release was like, firecracker. Like, yes. So I do, and that's why I'm curious if that's the same for a woman, right? So
I would say it. I could say that it's the same.
Yeah.
If I recall that time, yeah. Yeah, that's accurate. It's the same, you know.
Wicked.
But yeah, definitely.
See, I'm gonna show it to my wife. I'm gonna tell her, see, look, it's safe. You can take it. It's okay. Ricky's wife did it. She's alive. Look, they got 6 kids. She's like, I don't want 6 kids. Two's enough. Yeah. No, we're done with the kids. She's been fighting for me to have a vasectomy for like decades, for a while now. Anyways, that's TMI.
I told myself I needed one like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, man, I might need to get it. I did it bad. I just left my cousin's house, so I was talking to her. I was like, you know what? I've been having too many close calls lately.
Listen, if God calls me to help him build his army, I want to be there. I want to be ready. I don't want him turning around saying, "Sorry, bro." You know what I mean? You have a medical condition. I wish I could help you. You know what I mean? You're not going to get the blessings like you deserve. No.
Our last 2 are 20 months apart, and I was like, "Woo!" I had to muster some energy in my 30s that I never had to use before.
Why did you say that?
2 toddlers.
But the kids downstairs with you.
2 of them.
Oh.
But now you have so much that they're gonna take care of you and look after you. You know what I mean? So you're never gonna be alone. You know what I mean?
True. That's true.
Like I look at my dad now, and I realize the importance. Like I'm so grateful I have kids, and I'm gonna treat my kids really special because like I want them to remember how I treat them. So when I get old and they gotta wipe my ass,
Right.
you know what I mean? Because I'm looking at it now, and I'm just like, like I don't know what I'm gonna do when I get to that point. Like I make jokes about it now, but it's just kind of like I'm not looking forward to it. I hope it never happens. You know what I mean? Or I hope. Well, you know what? Let me rephrase this. I hope my dad lives a very long and prosperous life that is strong in health, and so that he'll be able to take care of himself until he's past 100. Something I've been watching lately is some videos about like speaking in intention and using our words and stuff like that. And sometimes we speak stuff that I don't want to speak anything ill of my dad ever, you know? So
That's how I feel too. Putting it into the atmosphere.
Exactly.
Thoughts and energies into the atmosphere. So.
Exactly, through the intention. So what other products do you have besides the bath bombs?
Well, I have made some body butter. I've got 2 different selections of body butter. And I've just been crazy about the Seamoss powder. Actually used just the Seamoss powder in that, and I blended it so to the point where it's whipped, and you really can't even feel any Seamoss powder in it. We had someone who told us that she was using it, and she said that it was actually blocking perspiration, so she wasn't sweating in certain places where she would.
Interesting.
I've also learned that what did she say? It also helped clear some dark spots. She had blackheads or whatever, where she was having those sweat breakouts and things like that. And someone who told us this maybe last summer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's interesting. I go crazy over just to hear a review. It's like, you know, it's really, this is proof it's working. So, but so one of the products that I have is it's a honey scented body butter, but I usually use like a base like avocado butter because it glides smooth and it's not so oily, you know, but it does keep you moisturized. And the other I have is called Hopeless Romantic, but it's more so fragrance for, you know, people that are looking more so for something that's a really heavy scent. Men do not use body butter.
I know. I should actually start using some, especially in the warehouse. My hands be all cracked and dry. You know what I mean? I have the ashy hands.
Because it's called body butter.
Huh?
And so because it's called body butter, and it just doesn't sound manly to use a body butter.
What do you want to call it? Buddy cream? Or body sauce? You know? Let's sauce it up. It gets saucy.
Like we do shea butter, but
yeah.
body kind of like
But
yeah,
so
it's most of the time it's me.
Do you wholesale all your products, or is it like?
Yes, everything is wholesale.
So including the body butter. Nice. So
everything.
What would be your like? What I'm just curious to see what your take is. What would be your advice for someone trying to start a business in general? Like, what were your sort of like? I don't know, tips. If you had to go back and start again, like what would your current self tell your, you know what I mean, your past self at the point of starting?
Well, the very first thing that I would tell myself is don't let anything get in the way of what you want to do. If you have something that you're passionate about, if you have something and you know you are a creator, and you have ideas, you should pursue those ideas, bring them to life. I think that a lot of me in life was, I could see what I want, but but what about this? But what about this? There's always the but, and then the but would always keep me from for what I want. So that's one thing. In this particular business, you know, it's so easy, especially whenever you are passionate about what you do. I mean, I love to create. I'm an artist, and I never knew that my gift was in being able to produce soaps and body butters. I could never have thought that when I was growing up. I was an artist. Like, I would draw cartoons, and I thought that I wanted to go to school to be an animator. And after all of that, this is what was produced. This is who I am. This is what I do, and I'm crazy about it. So I would definitely say that, you know, just go for what you want. Do your research too, because a lot of this was research and just finding something that you can work with. If you're into natural products, if you're into just doing things in a natural manner, you know, this is definitely the way to go. I do melt and pour. I actually can do cold press, but I haven't really done that because it is a long process. It takes a while for soaps to work, you know, but I often think that cold press seems to produce a lot more beauty in soaps. But I see that people are doing that, but with the melt and pour process, it's quick, it's easier, and there's just so much. There's a lot that you can do with that as well. So.
No, I find the melt and pour is pretty good. Like I said, my daughter did the soaps. I used the soaps. It came out pretty good, and so you know what I mean. But that's great advice as for like starting in the business, because I do too agree that a lot of times we get caught up in the fear of it, and so I can't really speak about it too much. But I'll just say this: I've been reading this or watching this YouTube video that just suddenly, like, I swear, I think the universe wiped it across my desk to bring it. Because what's crazy is that it showed up in my, like, sort of like, you know, that For You page or whatever, they're showing you the recommended stuff. I've watched this video a couple times. And so, you know, when you watch the video, it shows up in your history, right? This is the one video. It's never showed up in my history. So I'll go back to watch it again in the history, and I can't find it. I have to go back. Lucky for me, I took the link and sent it to a couple of people saying, hey, you got to check this video out. And so, yeah. But a lot of it has to do with just, like, understanding, eliminating fear from your mind and trusting in the universe that when you set out your intention and you put these words that this is what you want and you do it with faith and desire, that everything just forms and happens for you. It's those fears and stuff that keep you from holding back from those blessings. And these fears are stuff that is like created in your mind. You know what I mean? And so you're right. Like you got to overcome, like not even overcome these fears. You got to realize that these fears don't exist. These are fears you're creating, and you can eliminate that. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah.
I do think that what we talked about, like just speaking positive vibes into the atmosphere, works too. Like just keep positive mindset. Like it doesn't matter what you think is going to beat you down in getting out there and starting what you want to do. If you just say, I'm going to have a good day and I'm going to get this done and I'm going to focus, eventually you'll see that it starts to happen for you. So, and even if you just take and say to yourself, like, oh my gosh, I'm so all over the place. I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to start. Like, just say, I'm going to be organized. I'm going to get organized. And we'll be organized.
Yeah, you'll pull it together.
Organized.
Yeah.
I'm going to get organized.
I need to be. I am organized. You have to live it with like you already have it and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, yeah, man. That's I'm feeling the same way for sure. So you have bath bombs, body butters. What else do you have? Soaps.
I have soaps, men's soaps, women's soaps, lots of women's soaps, but I've got a few men's selections. And then what's to come is I'm looking at trying to find some selections for kids. We do have one soap, the Exie, that actually does work for eczema.
Oh, nice.
It's really good. Our youngest, he does have eczema. He's had several bouts of eczema all throughout his infancy. He's 20 months old now, and his eczema is non-existent.
That's awesome.
That was diet change, but also, with the soap and the Seamoss in the soap, and just using that as his bath regimen became like, it just worked wonders. Like, he went from dry, scaly, patchy skin to baby soft skin, and I'm just like,
and that for a mother, that could be so relieved. Like, I'm sure it's irritating for him and uncomfortable, but like as a mother, you want to be able to kind of like snap your fingers or wave your mother wand and everything's perfect, and it's like, what do I do? Like, how do I solve? You know what I mean? So I understand your pain. And just your joy in being able to solve the problem through this problem. And that's what's so amazing about Seamoss. It has so much versatile uses. You know what I mean? It's not something you just eat. It's something you can put topically, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it has so many uses.
Yeah, it's also amazing. It's amazing in the hair too. So I actually wasted some Seamoss to my mother, and she lives about 4.5 to 5 hours away from us. She calls me almost every day, and she's just ranting about it. Oh, I made a conditioner. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Listen,
Tell me how you make it.
Seamoss helps with alopecia.
Yeah, it does. I heard that too, and I was like,
no, I know my aunt has alopecia, like bad, like really bad, and then she said it's one of the only things that has helped put her back into something where she can even feel comfortable going outside, and has grown her hair. She still has some in the middle, she said, but all this and stuff has grown out, and it's the purple Seamoss she used.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is awesome. We had someone that we knew, an old friend of ours, who was aspect about it some time ago, and that was actually when I first researched it. You know, because she's like, "Do you think that it would help my alopecia?" I was like, "Let me find out." And you know, we did give her some. You know, I never got an update from her because her life's kind of crazy. So we, you know, so much going on. You never get to go back and say, "Hey, how's it working?" But for you to say that, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
and she was taking it internally, and then I told her, "Oh, you can also use it on your hair, like on your head." And so she's like, "Really?" "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah." So I think she's using both, and so I could see that. Another good item is castor oil. My dad swears by it. He said that will like make a bald man hairy, and so yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I've heard about castor oil.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I got some down here.
so if you ever want to make, because I think like now that this thing has happened with Jada Pinkett on the Oscars, not to get too deep into it, but now that situation's happened and it's brought this idea to light, lots of people are now going to kind of be sort of like, you know, saying, "Oh, I want to change some," yeah, coming out of, you know, being more comfortable with what they're doing or trying to seek help for it, because I think what happens a lot is they just hide. You know what I mean? Like my aunt was kind of like embarrassed to go out for a long time, and you'd always see her with hats and stuff like that. She'd only go out to places like if she had to go to a place where you'd have to take care of hat, she's not going. You know, so at least that was then. It's different, which is great. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I could definitely see how it definitely helped with alopecia, being that it kind of starts to repair the skin damage. Really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's that texture that it just, I don't know, it's really soothing, really hydrating to the skin, to dry skin. So I can definitely see where that would help too.
Yeah, I've put it on my head before. I don't know why I didn't keep it up, but what I noticed when I did it, because I was soaking it, like I would put it on here. So I would sometimes put it on so long I would forget about it and do like a video call, and then people would be like, "There's something on your head." I was like, "Oh, I forgot to wash off the Seamoss." But I would see the peach fuzz growing in areas where it wasn't growing. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it works.
that sounds like Mario said he was growing his hair back. He said Seamoss had his hair growing back.
Really? Was he putting it in like a conditioner or something, or was just put?
I think we made him an oil or something. Like we made him something. You made him an oil. You made him an oil.
There's a new product there.
I made a little picture bottle.
Yeah, she forgot about it. She made one of my best friends an oil, right? And so, like, he was saying that his hair was growing back. Like, man, my hair kind of growing back. and he's a barber. So it's kind of like he's kind of like in awe of it. I need to ask him what he did with it.
I'm so glad. This is my first time hearing that because how long ago did I make that for him?
That was like over a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like over a year ago that you made that for him. I back, I gotta call him and ask him, like, "Hey man, you still use that oil, man?" Because he'll be like, "Oh yeah, let me get 20 bottles."
Boom, bam. That's it.
Hold up, I gotta go look for my recipe. Hold up.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that too until you started saying, I'm like, "Oh, you did make a oil for him."
I did. Wow. That's good to know because I had like a whole bunch of different recipes that I was working with for hair products and things like that, and oils and things. And I actually made an oil that worked on Zayden. Zayden had that cradle cap or something like that when he was some type of an oil for it too. So that's amazing. I'll have to go look and see which recipe that was.
Yeah. I forgot until you guys started talking about it. I'm like, hold on, Mario. We did make Mario oil.
We did.
Nice. Yeah,
but did you make that with gel or did you make that with the powder?
It was powder. It was powder at the time. Yeah, it was powder. It would be in my phone, but I can look on my magazine.
So, I have a question for you. What's the difference between using the powder and using the gel when you're making your soaps or any of your products?
Texture. I've used the gel before in making my soap, and with the melting point, I kind of got that it was. I mean, the gel is good, but I just couldn't get it to blend properly, so to speak. So there was a bit of clumping here and there whenever it did dry. But it's still considered as full of the nutrients as the powder, would be. It's just the powder is more. It's just more so about consistency if you're using one versus the other. Just more so about consistency. And I think that's the reason. I think that's the reason why I really like to use the powder a lot more, because I'm getting the consistency that I'm looking for whenever I am. So I mean, if there's a certain look I'm going for, then I might use different.
I think it's more shelf life for me.
Yeah, and shelf life purposes too, when we think about it like that, because with gel being processed like it is, it can go bad, and then the soap would actually have an expiration date more so sooner than later. So powder, of course, is in a lot more of a preservative state. So.
I'm all about the powder for the soaps.
I really you can tell I'm really about the powder.
No, I think it makes sense when you're making the products to use the powder over the gel, because the gel just kind of upsets adds more moisture to it. And moisture can add bacteria growth.
Yeah, it's
true.
I don't know, we're a powder house.
I made a hair butter one time with the gel, and what did we use? Like a vitamin E oil, thinking that would take care of it. Did not.
Yeah, that would take care of shelf life. But see, another thing is that, so we weren't putting it in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't put it in the refrigerator. We just kind of made the gel or made the concoction, and then it was kind of like me. I can't remember to do stuff like that. I'm not gonna put it in the refrigerator after I get done with it. So I just leave it straight on the bathroom counter. And after a while, it started to mold up.
Oh yeah, right away.
Mold on.
Yeah. That.
But if you boil it, it won't do that.
See, that's what we weren't doing at the time. Because like when you first start off, like like they say in America, like boiling was like the no.
Oh yeah.
There's a no to Seamoss. Now I boil it. Yeah, I boil I don't even make Seamoss without boiling it.
I remember the first time I saw you boil it, I was like, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to do that. Why are you doing it?"
No. I'm like, no, it's okay, it's fine. Like you're supposed to do
and
this.
And then he explained it to me, and I was like, "Oh."
Well, the Dr. Sabi's Ushla Village does it. And I feel like if they can boil it, anybody can boil it. Then what makes them so special?
Like if they're boiling, then now you can't go wrong with boil. Like everybody's gonna be boiling. As soon as the only thing you gotta do is show the video, and then everybody will be boiling.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Sabi says so.
Yeah, there were so many mixed comments one time on a thread I read about boiling the Seamoss, and I was just like it was just so many people that were like, "Oh, you're taking out all the nutrients. You don't boil it." And then someone said, "Of course, if you do boil it, is there a chemical compound or something that has to be
released
when you boil it?" Yeah, and you have to boil it. And I'm like,
to release the bacteria, you gotta release that bacteria, the bad bacteria, after a certain point, and then got a clean product. That's pretty much what they're saying.
Okay, so that's what it was some very long explanation, and I guess I didn't interpret it that way. I was just like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
But I was just quickly skimming all the thread comments, so I probably just needed to sit there and really digest it to understand. But yeah.
But you're right that people do freak out and say that the mineral's lost, but like I don't know, I because they'll always cite, oh, this happens when you cook vegetables and stuff, but yeah, you throw the water out when you cook the vegetables. Usually when you're doing the boiling, you're boiling it in the water that's making the gel. You know what I mean? And so
it ends up going in the same.
Yeah, it's all in the wash. You know,
it's still in the product.
Yeah, but even and to me, it's like, okay, maybe some of the nutrients might be lost, not completely lost, but like say there might be 80% as opposed to 90%. So what? The minerals are there. Like we don't need to have the most potent, concentrated, highly produced Seamoss. You know what I'm saying? As long as the Seamoss is
community that actually. We're the only community that makes sure, like, Seamoss is the only thing in everybody's life that has to be wild crafted and sustain every last piece of mineral that's in it. Or if you don't, then it's no good.
Yeah, then it's garbage.
Like, it's garbage. Like, okay, even with, like, I'm still trying to find some wild crafted strawberries.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, like when you, it's wow. I don't even like to get into it.
Although I want to do some pick your own strawberries this year. I'm probably gonna get a whole bunch of them, and I might make some strawberry Seamoss gel and freeze it. Yeah, and maybe make it like it's almost like a sorbet. You know what I mean? Oh, that would be awesome. I still
have to, like, I'm still trying to come up with that texture of gel. Like all my gel locks.
Yeah.
Like, is there a situation where you don't put it in the refrigerator and it will actually keep that smooth consistency?
I don't know how they keep that, like, that runny stuff that you eat. I think that's what you're talking about.
I'm trying to figure out, like, because I can add all type of water to it and it still locks up on me. Like, and so I'm like, okay, so how do I get it to where, like, it's that runny? It's like you can just pour it, like,
bro.
And I'm trying to get that.
I don't know what
Seamoss transformation, like his stuff. I've still been trying to get to that point. So okay. I'm like, okay, because his is like, I look at him, I'm like, man. But is it like, I'm not sure if they're adding a certain fruit or something to it, or I'm not sure that's causing it not to bind together.
Oh, we should ask him. Yeah, but I was gonna.
Mine's good. Like, mine's a lock up on me. And I don't care if I could put a whole bunch of water in it and still it locks up. It may be just the Seamoss itself.
Yeah.
That certain Seamosses lock up like that, and that's when I'm kind of getting to the point where, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be that. I think it's like, I guess I'd have to ask him what's in the ingredient. I don't want to speculate that stuff. I like him, right? So to me, it's like, I don't want to like, oh, it could be this, could be, and then someone calls him up and says, hey, I was watching the live stream and that guy from St. Lucian Seamoss says you have this in your Seamoss. He'd be like, what the, you know? Meanwhile, I never said anything like that. I don't want that. So
no, I just looked at his consistency and I was like, man, that's a good consistency.
Yeah,
like,
I think,
you know, and I'm being honest, like, that's a good consistency.
But
like,
but what I was gonna
not to lock up.
What I was trying to say is maybe he adds something like some kind of citrus or something like that to help preserve it, and that's what's causing it not to fully lock up. Because some people do like it in that consistency where it's sort of like they can pour it out and it's not like, you know.
No, I have my veggie taste homegirl Naime. That's how she makes hers. She makes hers like runny, like she says everybody likes hers runny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as far as almost like it's almost like water water moss.
Yeah, because it's too hard to eat. But I also wonder, like, could the additional, like, here's the thing. I wonder what the effects would be from Seamoss that's highly concentrated and you take in the jar, or Seamoss that's been like super diluted. Because you remember how you kind of said earlier how you took these vitamins and you almost felt like you took too much, like you overdid it, right?
Yeah.
What if there's a situation where like we need more moisture in the gel and all, like it's almost like the more runnier the gel, the more effective it is, as opposed to more like thicker it is. We don't know.
Like, I would rather have it to where, okay, so like I took a shot instead of taking like a tablespoon. I took like a big shot of it and drank a big shot, which was considered to be almost like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. And it be that consistency where it's, well, okay, so this is another thing that we have to look at as well, is that you want to find like with the gel, the reason why I like gel, because it felt like it absorbed into my body quick. And it's like you get that initial burst, like, ooh. And then, you know, it may subside a little bit, but, you know, you feel that initial burst. Now, if you actually added more water to it to where it wasn't more of a, till you kind of, probably, it may get even more.
That's what I'm wondering. That's the hypothesis. Is like, could we be making this too thick? Like, even with marijuana, I remember talking to a shaman guy where he was like, we're smoking, when we smoke a spliff, you're getting drunk with it. He's like, you know, if you want to achieve spiritual enlightenment, you shouldn't be smoking marijuana like how we smoke it. It should be like for ceremonial and sacrificial, like sacraments and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, we do it like recreational, like whatever, blah, blah, you know? And so
that is a true statement. That thing I was talking to you about is like me not smoking for a while. If I stop for a while, then I actually achieve something. Me smoking, I don't like nothing when I smoked every day. Like, it was more of a just trying to be normal. Like, now I haven't smoked so long. If I smoke right now, I'd probably experienced.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, I be stuck in a just out of my, like, really having an out of body experience. So I get that part. Like,
You wouldn't even have to have that much either. So it's almost like, you know, like I said, we smoke too much, and sometimes it's like a competition. Let me see how much you can smoke. You know what I mean? It's like maybe we're becoming drunk and missing that that opportunity. You know what I mean? Because I believe that God is constantly sending us blessings all the time. And a lot of times those people that are not getting blessings, it's because of the way they see the world and the way they react. Oh, I don't want to go here. Oh, I don't want to do this. The most craziest things that have happened in my life that were most profound happen in situations where I never expected that situation to happen. Do you know what I mean? And so it's gotten to the point where I'm willing to try anything for any reason just to see what happens. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But who knows? You know what I mean? Like,
you can.
Yeah, like think about it. If I didn't get on that plane, you know, like everybody thought I was crazy when I came down to St. Lucia. Like, because I came, like, dude, literally, they were like, everybody was like, do not get on a plane, do not go on a trip, airports are going to close, we don't know when they're going to open again. I took like the last flight, you know what I mean, to go there, and not knowing when I would return, you know what I mean. And so that was crazy, but it was like I saw that opportunity, I saw that ticket, that sale, I was like, I'm doing it. And really, it wasn't even for Seamoss so much, it was for honey. That's what I was going to get into, the honey business. But then I saw Seamoss, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, Oh
Weren't
my.
expecting that.
Yeah, I'm just like, this market's an ocean. And I'm like, and it's here and it's available. And like like I think a lot of black people that are selling this stuff, like we spend too much time fighting over stuff that's not really even that important. The Seamoss works. Who cares if it comes off a rock or not? Why are we fighting over that? We should be working together to market the product better so that people understand the uses or whatever. You know what I mean? Let's move on beyond like the past and start like learning about the future and how we can grow these products and expand the industry, because we have this opportunity. Look, you're making bath bombs, doing wholesale. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, did you think about doing that 5-10 years ago? Did you know what I mean, see that opportunity?
I had no idea. No idea.
This is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And so we need to stop fighting. That's for sure. Like, I argue a lot. I'm part of the problem. I get it. But at the same time, like, I feel like I just wish we would just focus more on the product than like trying to compare the product to someone else. Sorry?
Scam. We're really caught up in the scam. Like, everybody thinks somebody's scamming them.
Yeah.
And which I understand, because like okay, so this is the thing, is that a lot of times we project what other people are doing to us on each other. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, just because they're scamming us or they're trying to get over us on our people are trying. Mm-hmm. A lot of times I just kind of look at it like, okay, so you think everything that when you see something new comes out that black people are on, you think it's a scam. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, so, and I kind of like what I had a video about. I'm like, okay, so you still think this is not legit? You still think that this is a scam? I'm like, we're 2 years in. Yeah. Like, coconut oil first came out, they were like, oh, that's a scam. Like, you know, everybody's like, yeah, you know, okay, coconut oil, and now everybody in their household has coconut oil everywhere. And so it starts off at it being a scam. But I'm going to tell you the reason why, because we listen to it so often that we don't do our and we don't say, hey, you know what, this actually makes sense, that this actually works. Like, when people start really doing research on Seamoss and they start realizing what it is and how it affects, and then they start seeing, wow, a whole bunch of Seamoss in it. Mm-hmm. That they know about, and now it's, and then they jump on the bandwagon real quick. I don't want to say jump on the bandwagon, but it's more like then they start to understand. Yeah, their eyes open up and they see the opportunity. Yeah, and then now they're gun-ho about Seamoss because they done did the research. But when I was telling you about it, mm-hmm, you didn't want to hear about it. You thought I was scamming you. You thought I would tell you something that didn't work. Or I'm like, okay, we're 2 years in now. Mm-hmm. Seamoss have been around that, but as far as being a product that people have been endorsing, we're 2 years deep. Mm-hmm. And you can't say that it doesn't work. Like, it contest that it doesn't work. Now, the biggest thing is that how do we get people to take it on daily instead of taking it when they're actually sick and need it? Like, mm-hmm, you know, that's the biggest thing I think that's going on right now, is that with a lot of our people, we try to get healthy until we have to get healthy. Yeah, we wait till the last minute. So, situation like, okay, so how do I get you to take this, even though you may feel need it right, because your body is actually, you don't feel it as far as your body needs something. So how do we get you to take it just saying, okay, I'm going to, as a vitamin, I'm going to take this so I don't need it in the future. That's the biggest thing I try to figure out. Like, how to get them to kind of change their mind frame of taking it.
Well, Seamoss, for people who are not taking Seamoss at all and are wanting to try it, it's more so about being able to intake it and the consistency, of course, as we talked about before. A lot of people don't like gel. A lot of people are like, gel? I don't want to have to eat that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's texture. I mean, it doesn't taste like anything, but, you know, you can try to tell that to someone who's just looking at it and has never tried it before, and you might not be able to convince them because it's gel, and it's the consistency or the texture, you know, for them. And so that's where the different ways of consumption come into play, you know. Now there's capsules and there's, you know, the powder. Like for me, it's powder in my coffee.
Well, I think the powder is going to be the way to go.
Yeah, I think gel is really what kind of turns people off. But now you got flavored gel, and so people want to take flavored gel. But then, you know, you have people that kind of be like, no, flavored gel is no good because it's only gonna last for a certain amount of days. So there's all these regulations on what people take. Like okay, yeah, I'll take the Seamoss gel that has strawberries, mangoes, and everything else in it because they know that they're not gonna taste it. However, then you have to tell them the shelf life is only 4 days. And so then it's like, I got all this in 4 days. And so it's like, then that kind of deters them away from it. I definitely think powders, especially, well, just like I used to always say, is that I couldn't conceive putting a gel in my coffee if I drank coffee. It's hard for me to even conceive putting gel in my tea because who puts gel in a tea? Like, I've even heard anybody even putting because aloe is a gel, so and that's actually somewhat good for you. And I have never heard anybody putting aloe in a tea or in a coffee or anything like that because guess what? They just can't putting a gel in.
It does make me cringe.
But I put the gel in the coffee. But I'll say this: it's so hard to mix it. You know.
I definitely understand that. Like it's just my mind frame. It's like okay, but okay, before Seamoss, would you have put a gel in your coffee? Like the reason why you put gel in your coffee because you know the works.
Yeah, so no, I wouldn't put anything else but Seamoss. I wouldn't put aloe vera in my in my.
Like just think if they had a instead of having powder, or whatever powder, anything like they just put gel. Like you'd be like, huh? That don't really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make sense on what people use to.
So
what people used to as far as with their coffee.
Yeah. So Seamoss boss, bros, do you put any gels besides Seamoss in your coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't deal with coffee. Rick, you know that answer already. I don't drink coffee. I drink my my guinea hen bee, my cacao tea, and just same shit, herbal tea. But mostly what I drink nowadays is coconut water with chlorophyll.
Cacao.
See, I don't drink coffee either. I'll take some tea, but even talking to my dad about like Seamoss, like he'll drink, like he's a coffee drinker.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I'm telling him, I think I told him like last week or a week before, I'm like, yeah, you can put the powder in your coffee. Like he went crazy. oh.
Do
and
that,
so,
yeah.
It's now he's going crazy because like he's not gonna give up his coffee. Like I just understand there's certain things that he's not gonna give up.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I can make his coffee better, so I'm like, hey man, just put the powder in your coffee and you'll be fine. Like he's going crazy right now because now he put the powder in his coffee, and he's like, that's what he loves now. Like matter of fact, I talked to him tonight. And he was talking about he turned away from getting a cup tonight
nice. A cup of the Seamoss. He takes it before he goes to bed.
Like he's a coffee drinker. Like it don't matter when he takes it. Like he drinks coffee. Like my dad's high energy anyway. Like it don't matter when he takes coffee. He's gonna crack sooner or later.
That's it. When his time is done, his time is done. That's it.
He's a coffee.
Someone mentioned cinnamon sticks or cinnamon earlier, so I wanted to bring out the cinnamon bark just to kind of rub it in their face.
Yeah, that's natural.
Yeah, this is like the bark, like right from an old tree. He said, my buddy told me. I chewed on some of it earlier, and it was like, yeah, it tasted really nice. But
how's your weekend going?
Which one?
You.
Me, I'm good, man. You know, I still, thank God I didn't have to go on my shift today, but tomorrow I gotta be up by 3 a.m., but such is life, man. Soon done with this military lifestyle,
I was just gonna say, isn't it late for you to be up? Like you got to get up earlier.
Yeah, it's 10:28. What I do, I tend not to make some other organization control my time. I still have to have me time. You understand?
Yeah, of course.
So because when you do that, it brings about stress. So I don't have time for that. At the end of the day, I still gotta be there early.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just gotta do what I gotta do, man. I went for that rank. I got it, and I gotta attain it. So.
That's it, man. And you know what? You can sleep later or work it off. You know, many times I've showed up at work after being at the club all night long. Like,
what?
If I can do that, you know what I mean? You could do anything.
10 years ago, I could do that.
Huh? Like, there's times too. You're like doing one of these. No, it was like, as a young kid, I did have a lot of fun. So, I just remember thinking about that. You never went to the clubs before you turned all healthy, Seamoss boss, or no?
See, I'm not a big club guy, because I remember when I was in Korea.
Yeah.
Especially Japan. It's just that for me, I'm a funny fella, you see. I like music, but the type of club I like to go to when they play old reggae, like Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, Barry Simon.
Yeah.
Everybody cool, everybody taking a line, but
of course,
all that,
they don't have that there.
They don't have that there. It was more like,
I would never go to any of those clubs. Oh my God.
They play their hip hop and all that.
Yeah?
It's just that for me, I don't know. I'm very funny when it comes to certain things. I just like old school, old scenery. Everybody chilling, everybody skanking.
Yeah, man.
Whining. Yeah.
Dude, Ricky knows. I sent him a tune one time, right? And he was like, "What's this stuff?"
He sent me some stuff that, like, I had explained to him, like, I really ain't listened to reggae like that since cop.
Yeah. So
it was like, okay, so this is what it kind of reminded me of. He's like, no, this is a popular tune. I'm like, oh. Reggae here is a little bit different. Like, we don't get reggae. Like, we get pop reggae.
Yeah.
Like, Pop Marley, it has to be pop reggae for us to even listen to it, or it to even come up or anything of that. And so, like, if you don't have somebody that's actually of Jamaican descent that's around you, you won't hear a lot of reggae that a lot of the people off the island listen to. Like, you just listen to the reggae, like the ones that turn pop and come over here and are able to actually make it. So there's a lot of reggae to that. Oh, this is nice, and you like, it's been out for years. I'm like, well, we ain't heard it.
Yeah.
That's underground.
Well,
it's Jamaican, but it's like you said,
they filter and give us this other stuff.
These guys controlling all the good tunes. Well, if you guys ever come to Toronto, right, they have this jam they have up here called Redemption. They do it once a month. And it's like a massive reggae party. They basically book a whole, like, it's the biggest nightclub in Toronto called Rebel. So they'll book that and they'll have multiple rooms of different styles of reggae and stuff like that. And then they'll have a live concert show. So they'll bring a guy up from Jamaica and do the show. And it's pretty much like every like style of reggae, every like, and it's like it's basically, well, pretty much everybody that loves reggae comes there. So you'll see everybody, all kinds of walks. It's not like just one sort of genre or group. You know what I mean? And we all just vibe because the music, the tunes are ill, and you know what I mean. And it's like back then when weed was illegal, it was like the one club you could, like the one night you could smoke in that club and just burn it down. Like you could not tell someone don't smoke at that night. You know what I mean? Because it was like everybody was smoking. You'd have to kick out the whole club. You know?
And have like a carnival?
Huh?
Doesn't Toronto have like a carnival that you guys have?
Yeah, we have one in August, July and August. Yeah, the Caravana they call it. Hey, do you guys sell the Seamoss by the powder, by the pound, Ricky?
I started to just recently. Selling it by the pound. I just put it on the website. It probably had been like in the last week or so. I'm really just trying to see the response. Like we were talking about earlier, it's really one of those situations where people, meaning that these other places that actually have Seamoss powder for 20 on it. Wow. They're like, well, these people have it for $25 and you have it for $65. Yeah, like it's a totally different type of situation.
Mm-hmm. But do you do powder too, Seamoss boss?
No, I don't do powder.
You just do the capsules?
The capsules and yeah, that's what I do for now. Yeah, not the powder.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to test it. I have to test it first before I bring them out it, so I can be able to tell the people, hey, this is what you get.
Yeah, no, it's really complicated. The yields on powder, and you know what I mean, sort of like, you know, the process and stuff. I don't know. I said, when you know someone who knows it and has the answer, it's almost better just to kind of like farm it, especially when if your business is to kind of keep it small and you like doing the work and doing all this stuff, I get it. But if you want to grow your business to something that you scale, you have to outsource. You can't do all the work yourself. And if you do, then you're not going to have a life. And what was the whole point of you doing that?
Yeah, that's facts.
It's true. Dude, I barely have a life now because I'm too cheap to hire staff to do the work.
You like, you know.
What?
So it's the soulmate over here.
Who? Ricky's my soulmate, right?
It's your business soulmate over here.
Yeah. I start doing the numbers. I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, I think there's some government programs that allow me to hire some people. And some guy said that the other day. He caught me, like, you know, because I'm like, I'm too cheap to this. And he's like, well, you know, the government has programs that will allow you to hire people. You could hire me. And I was just like, okay, let me go check that out and I'll get back to you.
I always talk about get some interns, and you don't really got to pay them that.
Yeah, but then you still got to manage them, and you got to watch over them, and then
that's the biggest issue. Okay, so my biggest thing is, if I hire you, I want you to work as hard as what I'm working. And a lot of times,
This is true.
Yeah.
And so, and I really don't want it because, yeah, I go through people sometimes. Like, and these are not bad people. It's just that my expectation for work is a little bit different than everybody else's.
Definitely. Listen, I'm telling you, like, I almost feel like if I had to hire people, I'd have to hire someone to manage all those people. I don't want to be there. Like, like do the work, like, because that's the thing. If I'm not there, I don't care. I'm not seeing it. As long as the job got done, or reasonably, I'm okay with that. But if I'm there and I'm watching you fuck it up, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to kind of like just let him do his job. Don't micromanage.
You see it, and I see it. It's done, it's bad. Like, it's really like, and yeah, even like a little bit of everything is like that.
Yeah.
So,
well, I have this one cousin and I love him to death, right? He's like one of my favorite cousins, but this guy talks a lot, and he does like half, like he's 90% talking, 10% working. And so I had him at first packing Seamoss, but all he did was talk to me, and he would stop and just like, like, I'm doing labels and I'm looking over. I'm like, okay, you want to get back to work? So I started just doing his job, right? And so he would come in to hang out, and it would just be like, oh, what's up? I'm like, oh, it's all done. Like, so, I couldn't fire him. I just had to do his job faster than him, so I didn't have the work to give him.
Like, I start people off on packing, like, hey, we gonna pack, and then they're like, okay, so what's next? Like, well, I don't want to stay. And then I actually had one girl, she was excellent at packing.
Yeah.
But she's a dancer.
Yeah.
So she's like international now, so she's
just flying like, all over.
So she only stayed for a good couple weeks, and it was like she was an excellent packer.
Boom.
It's just that, but I couldn't get her to do anything else besides pack.
Yeah.
Like, she wanted to come down and I'll just pack. And I'm like, okay, I need you to do a little bit more than pack, because
I'm done with packing.
And like she was good, but she was a dancer, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep her long, because she had a little bit during COVID.
Yes.
But she wasn't out dancing. I'm like, okay, well, sooner or later. First, like, now I see her, she's internationally dancing everywhere. I'm like,
you know what?
What?
Hey, I'm gonna have to hit you up and tell you some things I learned about some algae. We're gonna have to talk about offline. Well, I'm about to knock out. The flesh is getting tired. I hope you all have a blessed week, and may your basket never be empty. Keep up the good works, and Seamoss shall be a household name. Okay?
Yeah, man.
All right.
You have a good one, man.
You too.
Yes. Cheers.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to find some interns. Like, okay, so I think I had somebody do capsules one time for me.
Uh-huh.
And then I just like, no.
It wasn't working.
Everywhere. And then I was like, I gotta sometimes remember how I started.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was trying to figure it out, and I might waste a little powder here and waste a little powder there. Man, they were wasting powder everywhere.
Just like, too much.
Oh my! I was like, oh, this is not good. Yeah, I was going crazy. About it. Like, and so I had somebody doing it, and not to mention, like, I'm all about the process. Like, and when my process doesn't right as far as how I want it to look, it's hard, man. It's like I gotta have somebody passionate as me when it's doing it. Like, there's somebody that wants to really, like, a lot of people. I was like, hey man, we're gonna teach you how to do capsules. They're looking at me like, really? I gotta do capsules? I'm like,
yeah.
I want somebody that's gonna look at it like, oh, this is gonna be therapeutic. I'm gonna learn how to do capsules. I can get in my own zone. But that's what I get in. I get in the zone.
Yeah.
Like, no problem sitting down doing capsules. Well, I get in the zone and I'm zoned out for a little bit, and I'm able to just kind of roll through capsules like it's nothing. But I start to understand that a lot of people can't zone out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm thinking about 101 different business opportunities while I'm doing capsules, so I'm zoned out. And
but sorry to cut you off, but it's almost like they need to zone out. They need to do that stuff. Like it's almost like part of the reason why they have these problems and they're not accomplishing their goal is because they're not taking that time to have. Because even though it's sort of therapeutic, in some ways, you're sort of meditating. You know what I mean? You're going within yourself. At least I'm assuming because that's what I do when I'm doing it. And you start working out internal issues and problems as you're accomplishing something else that's sort of like distracting you and allowing you to think like in that like sort of different dimension in your head, right? That rock star area.
I think the thing is that I've gotten to now where I know A to Z, so I don't have to think about what to do next. It's just natural. Like, I know what to do next, and so it's kind of like driving. Like if you used to driving home, you don't really think about driving home. You don't really think about the exit you have to go to. Natural reaction. Oh, I gotta get off here, or I gotta turn here. And so that's with me is that with Seamoss capsules is that I don't have to think about my next. Oh, I have to separate these capsules. I have to hold this up. This is really more of a process that just kind of comes naturally now. And so
you're on autopilot.
What's that?
I said you're on autopilot when you're
really on autopilot. So really, I can always I'm always thinking about other things as far as really I'm always thinking about the next capsule I'm about to make. Like, oh well, if I add I'm so much into Moringa right now. I Moringa Seamoss capsule. And so that's really what I've been thinking about. Okay, and then how much I'm gonna add to it and the numbers. Even so, I'm one of them people that don't want to even think about numbers when you ask me. So you say, "Hey, capsules do I get if I actually put 800? If I put 800 milligrams in, I'm like 800 milligrams will get you 560. Like if you're doing it, give you 560 capsules. And 560 capsules is about and so that's my whole mind frame that I'm coming up with all these different numbers. So when you ask me, it's like back of my head. And so in there doing without a calculator, I'm calculating how many capsules. Oh, you want to do 600? You're doing 6 milligrams in there. Okay, well you're gonna get about 762 capsules out of that, and that's gonna be 12 bottles. That's really my numbers that I do in my head all day long as far as with capsules and how much you want to get into a capsule and eat, how much you feel like you should actually take in a day for Seamoss.
So you actually have like all the kind of formulas down, almost like in your head, memorized, like this size capsule can fit this much. You should put this much Seamoss, and because I remember you were telling me that too. Like when you're stacking them in the different stuff, you got to know how much to put. You can't just throw in like a bunch of one part, this 2 parts. That you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense. It's like you almost have to know like how much to put in to make sure that it's evenly distributed and you're not having more in one capsule. You know what I mean? Or an imbalance of like, having too much Seamoss and say not enough burdock, or too much burdock and not enough Seamoss. How do you know what I mean? Like that takes a certain knowledge and experience that you probably have gotten from making all the capsules.
And even with the machine I use, so once you actually add in, okay, so you're gonna need this amount of this and this, and like, okay, so I have to make 600 capsules. So now, right amount for 600 capsules, and so that's what, and a lot of times people actually look at it per pound. Like, okay, so how many capsules will I get out of a pound? And I never really kind of operated out of a pound. I always operate out of, okay, I need 600 capsules. How much which is totally different than how much out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so now I kind of start programming my mind, because now that I sell a pound of powder, that's the really that question. Okay, how many capsules do you get out of it?
Yeah, because you also have to account for some loss and, like, you know what I mean? I guess shrinkage or whatever it would be that you would get from, like, you know, some of the stuff that falls off the table that doesn't go in the capsules, or like spoilage, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like I'm anal about it, to where I even like, okay, so if I actually, so 45 grams, I actually put 45.3 grams in there. So I'm thinking I'm actually adding that in, like, okay, some of this is going to get on the table, some of it's going to, like, and so you're like, okay, well, the point where I'll actually take, and this was a while back, well, after I would finish, take on and put it in a bowl and see how much it, doing that. Like, yeah, I was like 0.6, 0.7, and okay, I need to make sure that my weights actually are 0.6, 0.7 over, because I need to make sure, because that's how much I lost on the table. So, like,
You want to be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, listen.
Perfectionist.
The funniest thing in this business is I've always, like, how do you say it? Try to weigh the Seamoss over what it is. Not one person has ever called me and said, "Hey, by the way, you kind of like was a little heavy on the Seamoss, but let it be an ounce under." And I'm getting a phone call. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I bought 15 pounds. You were 2 ounces short. It's like, oh, excuse me. Would you like me? Yeah, I'd like you to ship it to me right now.
That is true. You're
What?
definitely true about it if it's shorted. That's definitely true.
Like, because she actually was, okay, so this is, I think I sent her like, I think it was either 5 pounds. I only sent her like 2.5, not even 2.5. And I was like, what? But this is the thing, is that I actually sent her more because I actually had a sale.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I sent you a little bit more, but you know what she was weighing? She was weighing kilograms instead of pounds. And so she never actually, when I broke it down to her, I'm like, can you make sure that's not on kilograms or pounds? And she, afterwards, you know how somebody feels so, like, feels a certain way. And she never contacted me back, but I see that she ordered it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so it tripped me out. If I didn't know measurements, he would have got me. And I was like, man, send a picture of, I'm like, I've never shorted nobody like that. I'm like, I'm like you, I weigh over.
So you
right on. Sometimes I'm right on because I'm just like, I can't stuff enough in the bag. Like, especially it's like I can't stuff extra in this bag. It's about to bust open anyway. And so sometimes I have to be right on so I can just fit it. But I've never been that short. I'm like, no. I'm like, right. Oh man. And so I'm asking. I was like, can you send a picture for me so I can show it, so I can see exactly what? Because I know what my big bag looks like. And I'm like, oh, I sent you big bag, huge bag. I said, I know there's 2.5 pounds in each one of them. And so I know that she went back and did the measurement. I was like, can you please make sure it's not on kilograms and something?
Yeah, that's when she figured it out.
Because if you grams, then yeah, that's when I kind of broke it down. I'm like, oh,
there you go.
Measuring totally different.
But you know what's a trick that I do is I get them to send me a photo of the shipping label. And the reason why I do that is because every time I ship, I have to weigh it before I package it. So even if I forget it, right, the weight's going to show it Like if it's, especially if it's over a pound, like say they say, you know, oh, I ordered 5 pounds, but I only got 3 or something like that. That I'll see that on the shipping label. You know what I mean? And I've caught it where, and then I'm like, go back and weigh it again, and let me see how you're weighing it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times they'll like have it hanging over. I'm just like, what do you? How do you? Like, where did you learn how to weigh things? Like even just common sense. Like the scale is here. Everything needs to be on the scale. You cannot have like.
You know,
you're laughing because you've been there. You know it's happened.
Yeah, that's actually is like I'm tripping out because I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, some people, and I love it because I know that I'm always giving extras. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of a situation like don't make me look bad. Like I don't want this to be an awkward moment between us because I don't want to be like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And then you feel a certain way afterwards. Like I know the girl felt a little funny. Like I knew because she didn't message me back. Like she was on me. She was adamant. No, you sent me. I'm like, and I didn't even think about having her look at the box and say how much does it say on the box.
Yeah.
Like when she said what how much it weighed, it was like ding ding ding. No, she got kilograms. Like,
yeah, it's like no way that could be like that.
Like 1 pound equals like 2.2 kilograms. Like I'm like, okay, so I'm just started thinking like, oh, hold on, like you're measuring in kilograms. And I was like, can you make sure that it's on pounds and not kg?
And that's when you figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was, and it turned into an awkward moment. I just felt like that.
That's unfortunate.
But for all that, she ordered again, so obviously I was on point.
And that's what's important. As long as you provide the service that keeps them happy, that keeps them coming back, you know what I mean? I think that's like super important. Like I can't speak that because I don't know everybody else's business, but I know that customer retention is like almost the utmost importance. And it's almost better to have 100 repeat clientele than you trying to get 1,000 new clients every month or whatever, you know? And so, yeah, I always make sure that, you know, especially the clients that I like or the clients that are sort of, how do you say it? They're the type of target, the market that I'm targeting. You know what I mean? I'm very like, how do I say it? I'm focusing on gathering that business or trying to attract business from that area. You know what I mean? Because the more you're attracting the business that you want, the happier you're going to be doing it, right? And then let all the other guys happen to, you know, if they come in, they come in. But you want to have that core business as your ideal clients and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love my core.
Yeah.
Like you know, the core people I deal with is more like a family, almost than a like it's different. I don't know this like Seamoss because Seamoss is personal for a lot of people, and once it's personal, like it's changing people's lives. Like I actually talked to somebody online today, and she kind of trying to pick who she wants to be her supplier. So it's more of, I'm like, I told her the best way to find out who's a good supplier is you can look in the comments and see who they already sell to. Contact those people and be like, hey, I'm thinking about going with this company. How is it? And let them tell you. Like a lot of times, that's what a lot of people really don't like. That's what I would do. Like if I know somebody that's already going to them and I don't really, and maybe you look at reviews, but I'm actually going to go to somebody I know that's buying from them. But hey, so how's your experience with buying from this person? And if they're reluctant to tell you anything, then you maybe want to look at it. But if they're like, oh no, if you're thinking about buying from this person,
it's cool.
Like, like welcome to the family type situation. I think all my people and they kind of get on to me because I actually try to stay in the background. They're like, no, like I'm like, you know what? I know how business is, so I try to stay away from you and so you can actually grow your business. And I know that a lot of times you might not want me in your feed and saying that I'm your supplier. And they're like, no, tell everybody you're my supplier. And I'm like, okay, because, you know, I'm used to a different game where you don't give up your connect. And you're not giving up your connect, you know, and that's how the game is played. And so now it's totally different. Photobomb, and now it's totally different because
she just left from down here.
But he said it was going to happen. He already told me. He's like, you know, there's not going to be like there's going to be at some point she's going to make appearance. I was waiting for you.
Is that mommy?
Hi.
Go downstairs and talk to mommy. Mommy on the same thing.
She was just trying to get in the camera down here earlier. She was waiting.
Yeah.
She knows I'm easy to photo.
She's just like, you guys, what am I supposed to do now? You're both on the camera. What the?
This what a late nap will do to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those and Seamoss too, right?
Exactly.
That definitely.
Yeah, it keeps those kids energized.
So my people, they're different. Like my customers are totally different. They're like, no, you can tell everybody that. And now it's to the point where I started doing more promotion for them. Like, hey, y'all go check out these people now. I get more people that, hey, you want me to, like, hey, what do I got to do to get a promotion? I'm like, just give me your stuff. Like, just tell me that you want me to promote your stuff, man. I'll promote your stuff, bro. Like, I need content anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I'm too busy creating a lot of times, and sometimes the people that I sell to, content is the best content for me. Like, to just go ahead and put a quick story out. And so I just tell them, and hey, send me what you want me to promote for you. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
And I also tell them, like, it don't even matter if they knew who I am. Most of the people I deal with, they buy enough that their prices are different. And so,
but what they don't realize is not everybody wants, like, you can't own these customers. You can only serve them. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes they're going to want to get served. They're going to want to eat somewhere else. And that's okay. You just got to work at being the best service that you can to whoever comes and serves your meal. And it actually reminds me of a piece of advice my mom gave me once when I was younger, right? I was dealing with this situation where I was in this, like, love triangle. Don't worry, I'm not going to make a big story about it. But I'll say this. I still like the girl for some reason, even though she was dating this guy that was like you want to talk about, like, he was like the younger, crappier version of me. He was shorter and fatter. Like, trust me, I was like, that's, I think, was what really got me about it, was that I was like, I'm not losing to this guy. And so I would always catch them together and this and that, and I would freak out. And like, dude, I would like literally battle this guy in the street. Like I see this guy, I was fucking like chase him, and I would like pop out because her friends would always rat her out for some reason. Oh, she's with the guy, da 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 da. You know what I mean? So I would come down the street. Anyways, so my mom said, you have to treat every moment that you're with her like it's the best moment, and don't worry about anything else, and just enjoy the time that you're with them. And then they're going to want to spend more time with you because they enjoy the time with you. Don't worry about this guy. It means like that. It means nothing if you can't make her enjoy the time with you. You know what I mean? And so I just focused on that. And I like kind of just like, even when the guy was around, I was like, yeah, whatever, fuck him. He's, you know what I mean? You want to go for second, hamburger, that's your business. I'm still going to treat you nice, this and that. And then the girl ended up getting back with me. And then I dumped her. Once I got her, I was like, yeah, get out of here. Yeah. And then I met the lady that I'm with now, and that's, I've been with her since like high school.
Wow.
Yeah, long time. And so I'm like, what, turning 47 now? Yeah. Yeah. We have 2 girls. One's 17, I think, and the other one's 19. And so, yeah, 19-year-old lives on her own. She's all independent, going to university and stuff like that. Do you have any kids in university yet?
No, all of ours are little. Well, I won't say little.
But they're in their teens, right? Still.
We have one.
Yeah, we have a 15-year-old
Oh.
And then all
the tweens.
all, yeah, 12, 11, 3 and 20 months.
Well, once they get to that 12, 13-year-old stage, they stop letting you hug them and hold your hand, and you can't do stuff in public with them anymore. And trust me, it's a
that point yet.
It's a long, slow decline. You know what I mean?
I haven't got to that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting there. You just don't realize it. It's getting there.
Yeah, he's
Is
too
Rain
busy
still
with the
behind you?
Seamoss.
Is Rain still behind you, or she go to
No.
sleep?
No, she's gone to sleep now. She's
Okay. So yeah, that's my oldest baby girl, and so it's a little bit different. I don't think there'll ever be a time where she doesn't. Well, I say that now, but
Yes.
I know it's probably gonna end up changing. But I don't think there's ever be a time where I can't hold her hand or she. Now,
see the baby.
Trust
yeah,
me,
like
bro.
my youngest daughter. Now I think there's gonna be a time real soon when she gonna be like, "Ooh, Daddy, no." she's 2. Yeah, she's that's the one that you just see.
Mm.
That's already the case for me. She
Trust
doesn't
me,
want
it
to. She's dependent.
yeah, it's like that. Because the youngest one was daddy's girl, like big time. Like everything we did, she did everything. She still is into everything I'm into. And so, you know what I mean? She was always like, I love you, daddy. Oh, daddy. Oh. Not no more. Like, hold on a second. Did you ask me permission before you started? like permission? What the? I have rights,
Oh my
Yeah, I don't think I can get to that point.
Bro, I had to tell them. I'm like, listen, I made you. Therefore, I own you. Okay? I don't know what you're talking about rights. Okay? Yeah, without me, you would not exist. I go, you are my property, literally. It's like as if I took a dump and like that, like, I'm kidding. I shouldn't compare my kids to a dump. My wife's gonna come down and be like, I heard you last night. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's how you get in trouble.
Because, dude, you know what it is? That's why I have a 1 o'clock cutoff. Because it's like once 1 o'clock starts to run, everything goes garbage. You know what I mean? Go back in the live stream, like
See, I gotta look for my other one because I just woke her up. So let me not mess with her because that's still my baby.
You woke her up. Are you looking for Kalisa? She's by me. She's down.
Yeah.
Out here dancing around.
But I'm glad you came on today. You got to post your link in the chat so that people can see it, and hopefully when it saves, and let you know that you do the wholesale and stuff. Because some people were asking about it. I forgot to ask you about it earlier. And then like, definitely, I know this was probably more impromptu, but in future you got to make more of a guest appearance. Show us like what you're working in the lab and stuff like that.
Definitely. I'll definitely do more appearances and show you guys some more things. I got a host of different soaps and things that I'm always working on something down here. So, I
took her wholesale. I'm not going to lie. I took her wholesale. So all her soaps are on my site, bro.
Yeah, that's we're wholesaling on gold Seamoss right now.
It makes sense. You know what I mean? Keep yours as sort of like the luxury sort of upscale care. If they want wholesale, they can DM you or message you, and you can talk to them more about that. You know what I mean? But I would say this: you put not only wholesale but wholesale and custom products. Do you know what I mean saying? Because or custom formulations. That sounds even better. You know what I mean?
We actually did a custom formulation
based off the seat. Like when I posted that post on the Biter Club.
Yeah.
So somebody asked me, "Can you make a certain soap?" And we made it the next day.
Yeah. For extra.
Yeah, they ordered it. Like we got sending out 6 bars for them, and so like that was, and you know me, I should have asked because you know I'm so private. I'm like, can we post this? And I didn't ask, so I'm gonna ask her tomorrow. Can we post her?
No, you should. Like I said, I see this in like say 2 to 3 years where the how do you say, the market is going to shift towards is that there's going to be those that have been in the game for a while and recognize and are willing to make the investment, and they invest in the tools and the equipment to create the products that other people are going to come into the space. And you could say, you know, it's like what they're doing with the eyelashes and the other cosmetics and stuff like that. You can go to China and like, you know, develop your own makeup care and stuff like that. We need to be able to do that almost with Seamoss, where someone can come in and get a whole bunch of range of Seamoss products, you know what I mean, or products with herbs in them and all that kind of stuff, because we know the formulations, we know the information, you know what I mean. I just don't think anybody's going to get it better done than our culture, you know what I mean. Not to throw shade on the other ones, but if they get into it, they're almost getting into it for more. Not to say that we shouldn't get into it for capital reasons, but it's almost like they're going to be like a culture vulture.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like
capital for them, and at some point, I wonder if it's even about our health at that point area over there. So
yeah, and if we hand it to them, we can't be mad at them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like in some ways, we will allow them because we sat back and, you know what I mean, didn't want to invest in these ideas and didn't want to share and network with each other. Do you know what I mean? Like in some ways, there's a reason why me and Ricky are working together, or showing people that you can be somewhat kind of competitors and still work, you know what I mean? Work together to, you know what I mean? Build the industry, so to speak, you know?
Yeah. It's hard to see Julien as a competitor.
No, man, dude, there's no what I've been learning a lot spiritually is it comes down to your mindset. And if you think that there's competition, then there's competition. If you think there's lack, then there'll be lack. But there is no lack. You know what I mean? There never has been. And I think like we both, like, it's almost like it's healthy competition. Like it's better than we compete each other. Like you said, it's like I push you, you push me. You know what I mean? Bro, I got some things like cooking. Like, well, when you get it done, you're just gonna be like, my fucking boy. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll send me songs like, okay, you should. And so I had to send him my playlist today. I'm like, bro, like, you know, adding everything on to like he sent me the song, like, cause he sent me Pusha T's If You Know You Know.
Yeah, the clips. That beat though is ill.
I play songs all day long.
Yeah.
These are the songs that I'm like that's in my playlist. I'm like, so I end up having to send you like these are the songs in my playlist.
Yeah, don't play these songs.
like because he sent me all the good ones.
But that hey, but
and through really quickly, I think she asked what we talked about a little earlier about hot water and Seamoss.
Oh, she said, is hot water bad for Seamoss? No, it's not. In fact, I think we mentioned it earlier that Dr. Shabi's Ushla village boils their Seamoss. You know, I think though, and there's even another live stream where we talked about the like sanitizing the Seamoss. Remember that, Ricky? And we were talking about, I think it was a certain temperature that the guy from Transformation Factory said that you do it for like 3 minutes or something like that, and so that will pasteurize it.
Afterwards, it kind of broke it all down where he was saying that, you know, if you heat it, it's actually 60. It's likely in the 30 to 60 some degrees Celsius, and then but it actually has to. You actually have to boil it, and then like you get it up to that temperature, and then it actually drops down until where you want to get to be around 138, 140 degrees Fahrenheit,
Mm-hmm.
and there and let it maintain itself at that temperature
Mm-hmm.
for like, and that actually takes out all that bacteria or all the bad that actually could happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing I've realized is that when people do have that argument about the heat doing the minerals, the only thing they can say is like, oh, well, heat breaks down minerals, but heat doesn't break down minerals. Minerals are minerals. You know what I mean? There's different sort of like enzymes or whatever, like in the case of like weed, there's like different cannabinoids and stuff like that, but that's different. You know
So
what I mean?
like weed actually, when you heat it up, it activates.
Mm-hmm.
It like
the mineral that it is.
I was talking to Brick about my Levo today because she's I'm like, yeah, you have to activate it. Like once you activate it, you guys is on a certain temperature and it actually is heated up. Like if you're making edibles, a lot of people heat up their weed in the stove
Mm-hmm.
and to a certain point, and then they start to extract it and turn it into an oil or to a. So it's the fact that you're going to heat it up to a certain, and it activates it, and then once it activates it, then you can start the process. That's how I've been doing my teachers lately, and so I actually activated for like 12, 13 minutes at and it kind of started to heat it up. Like the first time I did, I actually burnt some, and so I can't put it up that. And so that the crazy part about it is that tincture oil is like a dark brown.
Oh shit!
Y'all have to fly on the wall when he has these experiments. It's hilarious.
I'm gonna still use it though, because I think that's probably I'm probably gonna be the strong teacher. That's probably gonna be the strong teacher right there.
Yeah.
But that's been my experimentation as far as using teachers. Even aiming it for a certain period of time, just to draw out those certain properties, and then infusing it after those certain properties. It's a lot easier. And boiling the water, I think it does the exact same thing. It makes me want to experiment tonight, but I'm not going to.
And it's funny you say the experiment, because I was just about to say that. Like the only really way you're gonna know is if you know by trying it out, and like maybe 1 week do boiled, and then wait a bit, and then do another week raw, and see which one you like better, which one affects you better. You know what I mean? And even like I think we need to trying to do various like tests on how much Seamoss, because what if the theory is correct that more liquid making it runny is actually going to have it like a better delivery system. It's like when you're making edibles, like having a higher fat saturated in the product is going to allow more of the cannabinoids to be transferred when your body, like I used to, because they had that company, the dispensary, I used to tell people, because we sold a lot of oils, and it was like, oh, well, how will this hit me and stuff like that. And it really comes down to what you're eating in your body, like how much fat you have in your body. And if you have more fat and oils in there that will allow the cannabis to transfer from the capsule to you, then you're going to get more. You know what I mean? And so that could be the same with that. So
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try that part with the like diluting it tomorrow. What difference? Like, but it just never. It always locks up. Like I'm trying to get to a point where it doesn't lock up, and it just always locks up. But I think if I boil it to a certain temperature, like that may be what I need to end up doing. Is
boiler will make it lock up more.
You think so?
Definitely. That the boiling part to me is what makes it thicker. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Kayla?
Man, see now I'm like I'm gonna go crazy. I don't have an anxiety attack.
Caleb, wait till you see the cocoa sticks I sent you. Plus, I added a few extra little treats to go with the cocoa stick. I hope you like them. Because I know you're going to go on live and make a video, so I wanted to make, have a good unboxing for your video, right? Huh?
Like I told him he needs to have a YouTube channel.
You should.
Like that's it. Like he needs to have a YouTube channel. Like as far as all the different Seamosses he buys, like I know he still has a lot of them just sitting around.
Well, that's the thing. He's got the videos. He uploads them up to Facebook, right? So it's almost like he could create. And I wonder if I could do that in the group. If there's a way to create a media folder so that I can, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll put a section where it's like Caleb's reviews. You know what I mean? And he could put all his reviews there, and Have any of you guys tried it in a sugar scrub? I did, and it's amazing. Tried what in the sugar scrub?
As far as the Seamoss.
The Seamoss? Yeah, I could see it good in a sugar scrub. But I wonder if she used the gel or the powder.
That's a good question.
Yeah. And I wonder if like the Seamoss salt could be used in like a sort of like a salt scrub. Would that be good? Or would a salt scrub be really bad for your skin?
See, I'm not sure. That's a
I suppose. I've never tried it though, but I would like to.
You said,
yeah, I would think on maybe like a foot scrub or something like that. Something that takes the coarseness. But
now I'm about to look at sugar scrubs and see if we can do it in a powder form.
Yeah, a sugar scrub and a powder. She did it in it with the gel.
Oh, that's we stay so busy, but I need to help with the directory. I'm just not thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the directory today and I was like, and I was mad because I just don't go to it, and I'm like, this is such fact.
We need to work on that directory.
We need to take a week to say, okay, we're gonna get the directory up and running.
Okay.
So whenever you get a good week that we're just not talking and running our mouths on the phone.
You know what it is too? I got to spend more time at the warehouse because as I get more things done, I'm there. I'll be more inclined to kind of put the hours into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's really not too much work. Like I gave you a bunch of the recommendations. I think it's more about just creating the buzz and letting people know that it's out there. You know what I mean? And
well, now I have to secure that. Like I don't know. I think how you have to like it's like the domain name is not secure anymore, so I have to go through all that stuff again because I just haven't used it in so long that I probably have to just go through a lot of different renewals and see exactly what I need to renew and add on to it.
Let me know before you check because I might even have I have like a hosting package and one of them has like I think it has like unlimited SSL. And I can even port the domain so that it uses the SSL certificate that I have through. I host with one-on-one Ionis.
You start saying all that stuff, and I'm like, huh?
Dude, I'm like total like computer geek. Like I can build WordPress sites and like e-commerce stuff. Woo this and that. I used to do drop shipping in like 2000. Like,
see, the crazy thing is, like, I actually have website. Like, I have a whole setup to where I wasn't in Bato and stuff like that. Like, I have that stuff. Like, I have like what you call that? The lifetime subscription to it. I just don't know how to use stuff like WordPress, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I have SiteGround, so I can actually go and do a WordPress website, and I taught myself how to do websites, and so I'm okay with doing it. But man, that stuff is a lot.
It is. It's a lot of work to figure this stuff out, especially when you're not like proficient at it, where you're not doing it every day as a job. And this comes back to like let the experts.
Outsourcing, like
Yeah, I
exactly.
think that's going to be our theme of the show today. It's like, you know, when can outsource to someone as like an expert that knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
You know?
like stuff that deals with websites that like, you know how many websites I could probably come up. Like I love the web. Like I have web domain for days, but it just takes too much time to do websites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will show you my GoDaddy account. It's crazy.
It says I used the sugar gel and it made my skin feel soft like baby skin. Oh, I can imagine. You know what I mean?
That sounds. You know what? Since somebody has my charger, my phone's about to go dead. So
Oh no.
I'm about to be off. Your phone should be charged up by now.
Yeah, you know, I'll bring you this charger.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, if you guys ever, speaking about Baby's Bottom, if you ever get a chance to come to St. Lucia, you have to go on the Sulphur Springs and they do the mud bath.
That sounds so good. Just because I know the waters right now, and even with the volcano activity, oh man, them waters are probably excellent.
Well, the mud bath, it's like a hot springs. And so, dude, your muscles and everything will just ease up. And it's like rich in minerals and stuff. And then you put the mud on your skin and it like totally exfoliates everything. Like,
it's gonna help my knees out.
For sure. Like you sleep like so hard like for the next 2 days after it.
I got football knees.
Yeah, you need to rub some Seamoss on that.
Rub it directly onto my kneecaps.
So Sissy McDaniel says, "Can you recommend a good supplier for Seamoss?" Yes, both of us.
Yep.
We're gonna fight it out in the arena. Moss Boss versus Moss Boss.
Yeah.
No, but check both of our websites, or even check Ricky. He ships faster than I do. I'm pretty slow. I'm a little slow on this shipping. I've been getting a lot of heat lately. So.
Okay, so now.
I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Oh, okay, I was like, what is that? Oh my god.
I'm leaving.
No, now he actually does have fast shipping now. Don't worry about his shipping. His shipping is actually under control. We got his shipping under control.
Yeah,
now.
it's true. Thank you. That is true.
Like, so you can actually go to him as well. So he got get you in the same time.
We'll just leave it and let you decide who to pick, and then we'll call each other and be like, "She likes me more. She likes me." No, I'm kidding. Says awesome. I sure will, and thanks for asking. No, and you're welcome. And thanks for coming by and checking us out. And let us know if you have any questions. You know, that's the one thing today. We didn't even really field any questions. Not too many people had them.
It's just us been talking.
Hey, you know what? That reminds me before I forget. What are your thoughts on pink Seamoss?
Okay, so I would just process what pink Seamoss would actually be. And so I'm at it like, okay, so it's purple that kind of changed colors. So really, I don't like that's like either because I'm looking at okay, so it's purple that dried out and it turned to a red pinkish color.
It wouldn't be like that, no. So it would be started as pink. So what I've found out, or this is like after speaking to a farmer, is that right now we're in a season. Sorry, are you saying something? I can't hear you.
No, I said about it.
What?
Can you hear me?
Seamoss, he says, is exotic.
Exotic.
That's some exotic stuff right there.
Yeah, the pink. Yeah. Well, what it is that as the season changes, and they're going now into the dry season, right? The purple sea moss it's not getting as dark. Like the weather gets too hot, and so the sea moss gets a lot lighter, and there's less of the darker sea moss to make the purple sea moss. And so that same sea moss that would normally be darker to turn purple, they can turn it like, try to turn it purple, but it would just go pink. Like it would never. It's not like it's like they tried like it went purple and then turned pink. It's like this one can only turn pink, And yeah, I want to do more research on the colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that brings.
That's somewhat what I thought that it would be, like a purple that didn't that they said, okay, it's not going to turn that dark purple. We're just going to keep it on its red tint. I just read what she said. I have made Jolly Rancher sea moss, and my grandbabies love it. I actually want some Jolly Rancher sea moss.
That would be a good, like, actually a better product than the gummies. Because the Jolly Rancher is like a hard candy.
Yeah.
It might last longer.
Like, me, I'm like, hey, so how do we... Can you do that, host?
Yeah. She knows what she's doing, right? Get her to farm that stuff out.
Yeah, can you do that wholesale? Now I'm very curious on that, because that actually is.
It's her #1 seller.
Hold on, I'm about to. As soon as we get off this live, I'm going to your page.
You better screenshot it so you get her name.
Exactly. No, I already got her all the way down. I know it's Sissy McDaniel, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to her page. Like, I actually need that product. Like, that's a product that I would love to sell. I would love to get out there to the masses. Like, hey, because I like gummies, but Jolly Rancher sea moss, man.
I know it's filled with flavor.
Exactly. Like that just sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
I want one right now.
Oh, yeah.
not for the kids. Like I want my own stash.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's getting me to want to have a snack right now.
Two kids.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
That sounds like a
definitely. Once we get off this live, I'm coming straight to your page. I see that you followed me. So I'm going to come back and follow you. And
is the other phone downstairs?
Huh?
Is the other phone downstairs? Is the other phone down on the table?
I don't see it.
Ice cream. All this talk about food got me craving some ice cream. So
I want a Jolly Rancher.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, oh, Jolly Rancher. Let me see how this ice cream.
Yeah, like, how you hear about a product and I don't want to wait until we get off this live. I actually want to go see it now. Hold on just a second.
Have you found the other phone?
I think it's down there with you, but I'm not sure. It might have been in my pocket.
Seamoss ice cream, yes. That's another thing that a lot of people wouldn't be making that would be good. Like a vegan ice cream that's made from Seamoss base.
Actually, I have made some chocolate ice cream, but it was vegan, and I put Seamoss in it. It was actually good.
Mm-hmm.
It just, that's not actually my forte, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love for somebody else to do it to see if it turns out. Like, mine was pretty good. It was chocolate. It was I did it with chocolate and bananas, and or actually, what do you call it?
The cocoa sticks?
And banana. Yeah, it wasn't cocoa. It was like powdered cocoa that I already got, and bananas. Why is this light on? Yeah, it's just like cocoa sticks and bananas, and it was fairly good. I enjoyed it. Nobody else ate it, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
I think I ate some.
Oh, did you? Oh no, I'm coming down towards you, so I'm gonna put mine on
Thank you. I did not see that right there. Well, I must be tired.
Okay, I'm back.
It's late.
Yeah.
Who found the phone?
I don't want to say that happens all the time, but
What happened? I missed it.
The phone, I was looking for the other phone, and I looked all around, and it was like sitting right on the table beside me. I just didn't see it.
Exactly. Like when I say right beside her, it seemed like almost an arm length to her. I'm like, hey, you see the phone? And I go downstairs and I find it in like 2 seconds.
I'm not wearing my glasses.
So Khaled's on Facebook. He's asking me to show the cinnamon sticks, but this, like what I'm showing you, is a little different than what I sent you, because what I sent you is from the first batch. This is like from the most recent that he just shipped, and it's almost like cinnamon bark more than it is like a cinnamon stick. But this would grind up to a nice powder for sure. You know, and what else do I have in here? Oh, do you guys see nutmegs?
I think you showed me the nutmeg last time, and we almost thought they were cocoa balls.
Yeah. Well, these ones are nice. He's got them with the mace on it, which is not easy to get. Like they have to be like really fresh. Yeah. That's how that nutmeg is. And dude, when you grind this up, oh, it smells amazing. Like,
you gotta tell this little girl to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got it.
I think
never mind. She had a bathroom break.
She's wanting me to come with her.
mm-hmm.
She had to go to the bathroom.
You can do it. Go on.
So Don Seamoss was saying they use it for fruit roll-ups, cereal, and many corporate companies were using it. Yeah, even Ricky was making fruit leather from it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. With the Seamoss.
I like the fruit leather. The fruit leather was so good. I don't know why I didn't keep on making that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just in experimentation week, and I was making fruit leather. And I made a whole bunch of it. And when I say I think I may have overdid it. Okay, so this is one thing that bothers me. It's kind of like you and being allergic. Like I can't eat mangoes.
Really?
Or I'll break out.
Oh, okay. So you have allergic reaction to them.
Yeah, I have allergic reaction to mangoes, and so I love mangoes though.
Yeah.
And so now I can't have them, and I'm at odds because a lot of the stuff that I actually want to make actually has mangoes in it. Because mangoes actually, they're good for taste wise. Like they're so strong as far as taste wise that it cuts out a lot of Seamoss, and so most of the stuff that you want to make is going to have some mangoes in it. Like when you see a lot of Seamoss stuff, it's going to be mango something.
Yeah, some kind of mango flavor or whatever.
Yeah, and so now I'm like, man, like I want to risk it all the time.
Well, does it make a difference if the mango's cooked? Because I know with me with apples, like I can't eat a raw apple, but I can eat an apple pie.
I don't. You know what? That's a good question. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll cook me some mangoes and see if I break out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, I'll risk it all.
Yeah.
I might as well. You know what I'm saying? It can't be that bad.
Mm.
Well, my mom has what is it? She's like, she can't do like tomatoes and pineapples she can't do pineapples if it's raw, but if it's cooked, she can eat them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they get a sensitivity. You know what I mean? Yeah. To it, and then when they cook it, it like kills an enzyme or whatever that's what's irritating her. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my thing is kiwis, and I'm so sad. I used to be able to eat kiwis. I ate kiwi all my teenage years, and I guess cold
Love.
turkey quit kiwi at like 18 and tried to eat it again at 25, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah, same with me almost. But I used to love, like, I used to cut the kiwi in half and just spoon it and just eat one. And my mom would get a bag, and I would eat the whole bag, or I would peel them, and then I would just slice them and eat them. Like, yeah, 20 kiwis I would eat, no problem. Like crazy,
Yeah.
man.
I used to do all the things. I think when I found out I was doing, there's that 10-day green smoothie diet, and oh man, I found out the hard way. That was
Yeah, it's gonna be horrible. For me, it makes my lips swell up, and I can't eat so I can't eat any fruit with a nut in it. So no peaches, plums, anything with seeds in it. So pears, pretty much almost all the fruits. Mangoes I can eat a little bit, like they kind of like do a little bit of swelling. What other fruits? I can eat bananas; they're okay, but I don't like bananas. Do you know what I mean? Strawberries I can eat; they're all right. But if I eat too much of it, it's not good.
Yeah.
Can you do blueberries?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I can't do blueberries or blackberries. I used to love blackberries. Yeah, I can't eat them.
That's so sad.
And no cherries.
Fruits are light. Like,
I know. And any I can eat grapes, but I can't eat red grapes, and red grapes with especially or green grapes with seeds. I have to have it all seedless.
See,
no.
No.
I'm the exact opposite. I won't eat a grape that don't have seeds in it. I'm like, and I don't even like red grapes, but that's the only ones that Crystal buys for me because they're the only ones we can find with seeds in them.
I found.
So it's like, and then I don't like them because I got pick the seeds out, and so it's kind of like I'm like, man,
I can't eat pomegranates
like
anymore.
Grapes, but no, don't like them.
Yeah.
Because so green grapes that used to have seeds, and you could be able to eat the seeds. Like you just eat it, and it's okay. Like that's the green grapes I'm used to. It's like I eat the seeds, but the red grapes, the seeds are hard.
They're
so
bitter too.
Hard. You got it.
Yeah, so you don't want to eat those, and so like I have that. That's my biggest issue. But yeah, I like the taste of green grapes.
Oh. Right.
It's just that I can't find any that don't have that have seeds in them. Every one of them don't have seeds. Like, yeah, it's rough out here. It's rough out here.
Hold on. Khaled says, those cinnamon sticks, show us the cinnamon. Wow, I need 9. I need it all, Julie. Oh my God, I need the cinnamon bark and the nutmeg balls for my personal use stash. Okay, I'll have to figure out. I don't even know what to sell this stuff for. Do you know what I mean? Like he just sends this to me. Yeah. I don't even know what it cost us. Like I have to have a meeting to figure out the costs and stuff. But
there's no price tag involved.
He paid some guys to go pick the stuff. Like this stuff is like pretty much like fresh stuff. Like it came from some village that he knew someone that went and picked them. You know what I mean? Or I think they might even have picked them themselves. They do like that. I know the bay leaves. He gets them himself. I think when they're making sticks for the farms, that sometimes they use bay leaf sticks and stuff. Because like I was talking to him today, and they were rebuilding the farm because there was a big washout, and a lot of the sticks in a lot of people's farms got destroyed, and so they have to rebuild and replant. And so I saw them with more bay leaves. And out of all the stuff he sends, he seems to send me the bay leaf the most. I think it's down there. They use a lot of it. Like it's an everyday sort of meals, cookings, and whatnot. But the cocoa sticks look badass. I'm really happy with these cocoa sticks. They're nice. They're like a big fat cigar. Arr.
That's what it looks like.
It does.
What it looks like.
But what's crazy, it's nice and soft, and when like if I squeeze it like this, you can feel like there is a little bit of a plyness, even though it's firm and like a rock solid. I can feel it sort of melting. Like there's gonna be like my hand probably smells like chocolate. There's some oils that come into it, but it's nice. I made some cocoa tea the other day. And I read some report, something where it says like if you drink 2 cups of this a day, you start rebuilding stem cells. So I'm all about rebuilding stem cells. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's do it. I'm ready for that. Says, oh my god, but hey, you guys would be shocked and amazing at how quick I sell all this stuff. Well, Khaled, let's do a call tomorrow, and like, you know what? I'll get my guy to even ship the stuff directly to you, right? Even if because if it's just herbs and stuff like that, I think they can send it by the mail or send it some way where it's, you know what I mean? It's affordable for you, and these guys can make a decent dollar, and they'll help out the community. You know what I mean? Um, that's really what, like, you know, I'm kind of in it for, you know. So yeah, whatever helps build up more opportunities for more St. Lucians. You know what I mean? Like us buying these cocoa sticks alone, you know, like this is a huge order for some one person to make. Smells nice. Like you smell that? It's like one big chocolate. Crazy. Is Rick okay? Did he crash out?
I don't know. I think I was looking here for a second. He may have gone to try to get our daughter to bed. She's
Oh yeah. He's
you know,
like,
as long
enough
as
is
the house
enough.
is awake, she'll probably stay awake too. And the thing is, spring break for the kids this week, so they.
Oh, you guys are on
there's
spring.
no school.
You guys are on spring right now. We just had our March break, I think, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really? Yeah, ours is always the first week of April around here. So, and I'm glad that they're out because they probably have been itching for this break. But and being able to stay up a little later, you know. So.
Well, that's good.
For
That
her, she needs to be asleep though. She's still.
true.
So a really late nap. So it was just like. You know, she's still up here, so I think he's trying to get her to go to bed finally. So he kind of dipped out and didn't say much, though. So.
Mm-hmm. But that's what happens. Yeah, these look nice. And they're
So
hard.
how with the cocoa? Those are cocoa sticks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you know about how much like one of those weighs?
No, and you know what? I don't have a scale here to weigh one. I could find out, but I have a feeling it's like half a pound or a quarter pound that it's on this. But I'll find out. I'll weigh
I
it
had
on
to read a
tomorrow.
bedtime story.
Yeah, she was right. She knew it. You know that game show where you're supposed to guess what your husband's saying or whatever, you know, and they flip the card. What was that show called? Like Honey Knows Best or something stupid. Like it wasn't. What was it called?
I thought I was just gonna be able to kind of go in there and be like, hey, it's time to go sleep. Good night. And then she looks at me and she gets the book and she's like, ah. I'm like, okay, let me read the story real quick.
Yeah, man.
She got me.
She got you tonight.
That's it. No, but that's good. It's good that you can be there to, like, you know what I mean? Give them that
right there.
Yeah.
That experience. They're gonna remember that growing up, you know, for the rest of their life, and soon, dude, you won't be able to do it anymore. Trust me, my kid would look at me crazy right now if I tried to go up there and read a story to her. Get out of here.
That would be our tween our preteens right now
Yeah.
are in that phase. Everything is like,
Oh, what is
get butt.
this? Yeah. Yeah, they thought I was a geek for a while. They're just starting to come around now, saying they're starting to realize how cool their dad really is. You know, they're like, "You did that, Dad? You were like that?" You know, it's like, yeah, wow. Oh shit. But it is getting kind of late, guys. I want to keep it going, but I'm just thinking maybe 2 o'clock. You know, hang on. I enjoyed you guys. My eyes are getting heavy. Have a good night and a great week. I know my eyes are getting heavy too. And
I'm getting to that point. I almost read myself to sleep.
yes. But oh, I'm running low on battery.
I will be trying to hold my eyes open.
But Crystal, we have to do this again soon, right? It was a pleasure having you. And next time, let's let's go over your whole business. You know what I mean? Like show us everything that you're making. Because I know this was kind of like last minute. You might not have stuff that you wanted to show me and this and that.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's do like a business expose when you're ready, and we'll just you know, you can run through every of the products with your name, and then explain to people how you're doing the wholesale. Because like I keep dropping it, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's like outsourcing is the no, really it is. Like in the future it's going to be the key, because like even now, like us, we do a lot of outsourcing with other guys where it's like I have one guy where it's like literally he hasn't, like when I'm looking at it, I'm like, this guy hasn't lifted a finger to do anything. Everything was a phone call. He phoned a designer, made up the design, shipped it to China, got the packaging, shipped it to me. I started packaging the stuff, shipped it to Amazon. He had guys like on like, what do they call them? Virtual assistants build up his Amazon ads and all that content and stuff like that. Because I was like on his group chats to listen to what he's telling all these guys, and I'm just like, this guy, like anybody could do this stuff. Do you know what I mean? You just, it's not even knowing about it, you got to be willing to figure it out.
Exactly.
Because
like,
yeah. Go ahead.
Man, I want to outsource everything that I'm not making. Like, if we're not making, like, even with the lotions and the body washes, like, we're outsourcing. Like, I'm not trying to make them. I know Crystal likes her lane right now, so I'm not going to try to get her to come up with those new formulas. And so I just started looking for somebody else to kind of outsource certain things that we didn't want to do. Even the Jolly Ranchers. I'm trying to outsource the Jolly Ranchers.
Well, hey, I think she messaged you, you know?
She did. She said, check your inbox.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think the Jolly Ranchers is a good product, you know, some hard candy and all that kind of stuff. Like anything to put Seamoss in. You should be putting it in everything. You know, it should be like Frank's Red Hot. Yeah.
Put that on everything.
Everything. That's, you know. But yeah, let's let it go before I have a habit of saying goodbye, but then like, you know what I mean? I hang around. No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Because I'll say something else, and I'm like, hey, so what about? And there we go.
That's it. And
I've been zipping through here on y'all's lives before in the past and heard you say, well, we're going to wrap it up. And then I'll hear Rick talking like 20 minutes later.
You're just like, these guys never stop. Never. Yes. All right. Well, you know what? It's not going to be long. It's Wednesday. So I'll be back on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Before you know it, we'll be back and doing this again. So thank you to everybody that stayed till 2 o'clock to watch this, and appreciate it. And Khaled, I'm going to reach out to you tomorrow because I think I packaged your Seamoss, but I didn't, like, the guy from Pure Later hasn't picked it up yet. So if he hasn't picked it up, then maybe I'll throw in some of this bark in for you and a couple more of these nutmegs for your special stash. You know what I mean? Because I appreciate you so much, and making the videos that you do, doing that stuff is expensive, but it's, I guess it's not to say it's important, but it's helpful to the community because it gives these guys an opportunity to showcase their stuff. And not only that, but what it does to them inside. Like, dude, like, you know, to think someone has, you know, like I can only imagine what it's like to have someone like, you know, review your product, you know what I mean? And then you know, you get good feedback from it. Anyways, I feel myself going back. So I'm going to be disciplined. Yes, I'm stopping myself before I start talking about something else. Thank you guys. Good night. I'm going to hang up and be rude. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me end this. Anyways, I'll do like that. And then let me end it here. Thanks, guys, for watching. And you catch me next Sunday, next Wednesday. All right. Bye. And don't forget to take your Seamoss.